In game one of the doubleheader, they did not struggle. 5 runs on 9 hits. They went 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So the Orioles will regroup. This is only the second time Tampa Bay has beaten the Orioles this season. Chris Tillman will try and put a quick end to that in the second half of the doubleheader. A little run support at home would be nice for the Orioles starter. The Orioles on Masson, and we get set for game 2 of our day-night doubleheader, and a big crowd will be on hand for this one as the Rays and the Orioles go at it. And now the O's got to hope for a split after losing the afternoon game 5-2. Rays, pretty good ball game. Well, the Orioles knew coming in, you don't take this Tampa Bay team lightly. They may be struggling, but many of the players that have beaten the Orioles in the past are still there. They put on an impressive show, both on the mound and at the plate in game 1. So the Orioles got to pick it up here for game 2, and they've got to do it for their starter. Chris Tillman has some of the most unusual numbers that you'll see on the season for any pitcher. Here at home, his record is 0-4, even though his ERA at home is 2.78. You compare that to a 6-0 road record and a 5.53 ERA on the road, and you go, hey, wait a minute, hang on. But you look at that bottom line. The run support average is incredibly 7 on the road and 1 at home, the 3rd lowest run support average at home in Major League Baseball. So he goes out there, Jim, believing maybe he won't get a run.
Well, he'll get one, but he wants more. He wants, like Johnny Rocco. I want more. Anyway, the bottom line is we saw him pitch Sunday. The Orioles needed to beat Tanaka. He was 11-1. He really pitched well, threw the ball well, shut out the Yankees. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if he has to shut them out tonight, but he just has to pitch, keep them in the game. And I think Chris will be able to take his chances.
Well, the Orioles need that one against this Tampa Bay team. These are the division games, of course, that are 2-for-1. We're going to have a moment of silence before the start of the game to our PA announcer, Adrian Roberson.
Star-Spangled Banner.
Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. What a night for al fresco and for a ball game. Take a look at our train Game time temperature at 80 degrees. Start the game. Few high clouds around and a little breeze blowing out to left. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. Here's the starting lineup. Game 2 for the Rays. Jennings, Kiermaier and Zobrist, Longoria, Loney and Geyer, Joyce, Hannigan and Forsythe. The bottom two did not play in Game 1. Geyer had a big opener with a 3-for-3, 3 doubles.
And for Chris Tillman, there is the pitch selection and the percentage of pitches he throws. Fastball had really good velocity, 90 to 95. We haven't seen that in a while. Uses legs a little bit more. Breaking ball, that's the big curveball, occasional cutter, and had really good changeup, which is important. That's what he had in New York, but very important against this Rays team. A lot of good fastball hitters. There are the numbers, as Gary Thorne told you in the opening. Has yet to win here, even though he's pitched very well. 0-4, 2.78 ERA. They get him a little over 1 run a game, 1.10. So really for the Orioles, if he would pitch like he has, I think they'd take their chances.
So we are ready to go with Game 2, as Chris Tillman will stand in against this Tampa Bay ball club that really did dominate Game 1. Jennings is the designated hitter in this game. He'll go after the first pitch and foul it back. Desmond Jennings made the start in the first game in center field for the Rays and had the 0-for-5 ball game. Jennings with that .239 average, moving into the leadoff spot 19 games ago. Here's the 0-1 pitch, looking for a bunt. Will take the pitch for a called strike. David Rackley, the home plate umpire, tends to have a fairly reserved strike zone. David did not work the first game of the doubleheader. He moves into this crew to do home plate, along with Jim Wolf, Brian Gorman, and Gabe Morales. And Tillman will ask for the signs again. Head of him 0-2. Chris will miss up high with it for a ball. For Tillman in the 16 starts, the ball club has gone 10-6 this year. It's his 13th career start against the Rays and the second this year. He's 2-6 lifetime with a 4.80 ERA against Tampa Bay. 1-2 delivery and a breaking ball. He really throttled back on, but it missed 2-2.
Yeah, good one, but Jennings must have seen it, because normally this is a pitch he swings at. I mean, the shoe top drop started right about the letters, and Hundley caught it on the ground.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery. He'll pop it up, and that'll end up in the seats. Bear in mind, the first couple of innings for Chris Tillman have been the tough ones. 15 runs given up in the first, 14 runs given up in the second. If he can get through those first two, then he settles down and has good middle of the game innings.
Yeah, the game in New York started with a triple by Gardner, but he overslipped third. They challenged the call because they thought he tagged him. There's a changeup.
He got him.
Yep. Yeah, you get a pretty idea of whether it's going to be a low or high strike sign. So Rackley kind of rings him up. Changeup, pretty much belt high. Certainly very hittable, but he just fooled him. This will be a nice angle here. You get an idea of what the high strike zone is tonight. That's pretty high, just underneath the Rays. But I think the fact that it was a changeup and nicely brought into the strike zone by Nick Hundley.
And Kevin Kiermaier will stand in at a 1-for-5 in the opener. Bunting to third for a base hit. Machado was playing in. Look at that release. Mercy. How about glove to hand on that one? They were one and the same by Manny Machado, and a nice pick at first by Chris Davis.
Well, they won the Platinum Glove, and that's given to the best of the Gold Glove winners. And this is a perfect example why. Now he's in, and again, he just has a sense. And you think he could play third, he can play shortstop just like this. Tremendous instincts, not to mention all the physical attributes. Nice little pickup by Chris Davis.
Beat him by a full step. Yeah. Wow. Real good defensive play to start the ball game for the Orioles. Here is Zobrist starting at shortstop. Their regular shortstop. Escobar did not play in the first game and is not playing here. He's had a shoulder problem. Kept him, brought him out of the game on Thursday and did not play game 1 and obviously out again. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that will miss down low for a ball. Zobrist, the switch hitter, came into the day's play hitting .286 right and .234 from the left side of the plate,
which is usually his power number. He saw a little bit. I mean, he just dropped the bat head on and hit a single into right field. Also walked in the first game of his doubleheader. That's what you usually expect from him. Very, very keen eye. Normally hits in these counts. Pitchers are always behind him.
That'll go to second base. Flaherty is there over to Davis, and there's that good first inning that Tillman so likes to get. We'll check the Orioles lineup when we come back. With the fans to get their summer chapeau, sponsored by Miller Lite, and they've got them on here tonight. Take a look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Their fares online only at southwest.com. Marquez, Machado, and Jones, Cruz, Davis, and Hardy, Lowe, Hundley, and Flaherty. Manny Machado picked up a home run, part of the 2-for-3 game one.
And Jake Odorizzi, fastball about 58% of the time. He's got the big curveball. Also has a little slider. Changeup was a pitch he kind of worked with Cobb down in spring training, trying to throw it, but he kind of canned it. So a lot of fastballs, big overhand curveball. So he's coming a couple of starts ago, and you look at the record. I mean, 3-7. He has pitched very well as of late. They don't score him a lot of runs. They get him about 4 runs per game, so he better pitch well. Pretty good numbers, both righty and lefties. Not a lot of home runs, but at the end of the day, because they haven't played well, maybe he hasn't pitched as well. He only won 2 out of his last 14 starts, but pitching well in June.
That'll bring up Nick Markakis. Nick continues in the leadoff spot, but for this game is going to be the designated hitter, as Nelson Cruz is playing in right field in the ball game, and the pitch to him will be taken for a strike. So Nick, one of the unusual times he's not out there in the field. This will be the 5th time he has been the designated hitter. And the 0-1 delivery on the way, and he takes it to right field. Got a lot of it back in the wall. Is there room? There is. And Joyce will put it away.
Yeah, it looked like he might have hit it out of here. Wind swirling around.
Look at our Jeep inside the numbers for the Rays starter.
So he's a youngster, 24, turned 24 in March. And you can look in the month, at least the last 3 starts of the month of June, 1-1 record. So of his 3 wins, he's won 1 of them. And not walking a whole lot of guys. That's the lowest batting average. So that's what the Orioles have to contend with. But obviously pretty confident coming into this start.
Manny Machado back up into the number 2 spot for this game. He has an 0-for-5 against Odorizzi lifetime. Machado with a game 1 2-for-3 numbers. The home run now has 5 of those on the year. Right-hander's 0-1 delivery, and that'll be in the air to center field. That one hit deep near the warning track. Couple of long fly balls. That one is out number 2.
Well, take a look at the Rays defense. Geyer with the 3 doubles. Kiermaier, Rejoice. That's the outfield. Longoria, Zobrist, Forsythe. He comes in to play second base. James Loney. That's where he played in the first game, and then Ryan Hannigan last year with the Reds in Cincinnati behind the plate for the Rays.
Adam Jones coming up. Odorizzi with a couple of balls hit well, but for outs. Jones has had a home run off the starter. He's 3 for 8 in his career against Odorizzi, and taking a little while to get into the batter's box here in order to give Chris Tillman a bit of a break, as the outs have come quickly for the first 2. Odorizzi works quickly. He'll get the ball back and be ready to go. Pitch will be inside, and again it tried to get him to go away and low. Came in though in a 1-0 count. Gets 68% of leadoff batters retired on the season. Only 24 years old, 3 wins, 9 losses for his young major league career. Jones will take that one down into the corner. Geyer's not going to get it. Backhands it. Adam on his way to second base. Throw will not be in time, and a double for Jones.
Yeah, he watched Brandon Geyer hit 3 of them right down in that left field line. Why not me? Little slider. Watch this ball slide to the outside corner. Cover the plate. Strength. One hand almost. Again, the speed. If it's a fastball, probably would hit it to center field. Slider, maybe about 6-7 miles per hour slower. That hit gets out. Hit it down into the corner for 2.
The Orioles went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position in game 1. They stranded 4 in losing 5-2. Here's their first chance in that situation in game 2. Cruz an 0 for 4, lifetime off Odorizzi. Jones at second, pretty good secondary. And the pitch will be taken for a strike on the outside corner. Orioles starting the day 271 as a team, second with runners in scoring position to the Tigers. Showalter's ball club, not a lot of chances in that first ball game. Those 4 that were stranded, only 2 of those in scoring position. Joe Maddon's team just did a good job in game 1. Set up way outside, that's where the pitch was, and it misses. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Nelson Cruz. Cruz against the Rays, hitting 189, 7 for 37 against them. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Delivery on the way, and a chopper. He had to pick that one up off the dirt. Zobrist will get the play and record the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Completed 1 here at game 2, no score. Can you get it to the hand to throw? Well, at third, Manny Machado skips the glove at times and is as good as anybody at the barehanded pickup at this plate. You can't even see the ball go from glove to hand. It was so quick. And if he doesn't do that, he doesn't get the out. He did, and he did.
So here is the Oriole defense, brought to you by Chevrolet. Lowe, Jones, and Cruz. A little different look than game one. Machado, Hardy, both Gold Glovers. Flaherty, Davis, and Nick Hundley, the veteran catcher behind the plate. And there he is. Don't hit it to him unless you want trouble.
He is something to watch, boy. Tillman goes back to work here in the second inning with Longoria. Longoria, the 0 for 3 in the opener. He'll go after the first pitch and popped him up. Jones coming over, left fielder. Lowe is there, and we'll put it away. Longoria's on to 1 pitch. Tomorrow, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the Orioles-Rays game. Note the time, 4:05. Are going to get the Chris Davis Crush City Performance T-shirt. It's a unique design to add to your Birdland wardrobe. That's tomorrow. Tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Chris honored with the T-shirt for tomorrow's game. Orioles hope they'll be going into that with a 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, big game. I mean, big game. I mean, it's not a must win, but they're playing with house money. They've already won 1. They have now won 9 out of their last 15, so they're playing a little bit better. So you can take that. I always thought you could take a record. That you never take a look at a 1-loss record and say, "Boy, I got this game," because that's just not the way this game is played at this level.
Joe Madden wants his team, obviously, to get on the run as they started 12.5 out. 1-0 count, and the pitch is in there for a strike to Loney. Most of these Tampa Bay hitters have seen a lot of Chris Tillman. There are a lot of at-bats. Loney's 2 for 16 against him in his career. So if seeing a pitcher favors the hitter, Tampa Bay's got some favorite numbers going. That'll be fouled away.
Yeah, this is the second appearance for Chris against Tampa Bay, and no decision early on. Actually pitched pretty well. 3 runs on 5 hits, 6 innings. Couple walks, couple of strikeouts.
1 ball, 2 strike count with 1 away. Loney and then Guy are due up in the dirt.
Yeah, that was the curveball. He did not throw a curveball for a strike on his way to pitching 7 shutout innings until the 5th inning in New York. But he had a real good changeup, and the velocity on his fastball touched 95 on a couple of occasions, which is the best of the year, or the best since opening day.
And that one back into the screen. For the numbers we showed you, the 0-4 mark he has this year at home with that great ERA. Overall, he's had 47 starts here, and the Orioles are 27-20 in ball games that he has started here. His record is 16-14 career at Camden Yards. Got a hold of that one to right field. That is way back, and Cruz is looking at the wall, and he'll go up. Nope. Goodbye, home run. Loney gets the homer deep to right field into that well, and there was no play for Nelson Cruz, and they're on the board with a 1-0 lead.
It appeared what Nick Markakis did off of Odorizzi, and but this one hit better. That one caught at the wall, but this one, it's a changeup where the bat head gets. Late on the fastball. I mean, this you have to kind of go and look at the previous swings. He was late, and this one gets right over the railing. So it just speeds the bat up with a ball right down the middle, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead.
Loney gets his 4th home run of the season, and the pitch will be taken outside by Geyer, who had a 3 for 3, all doubles in game 1, boosting his average to 300, getting back off the DL in the middle of this month. 1-0 delivery to him, and that's going to be fouled away. Tillman has now surrendered 11 home runs on the season, giving up 6 of those to left-handers. So left-handers who put the numbers up against Chris, 291 opposed to 223 for righties. That'll be foul back. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 1-2 delivery on the way. On speed pitch and maybe a little bit high. Loney has now had 3 career home runs against the Orioles, 2 of them here at Camden Yards. Had to wait on that, couldn't get the bat on it. First base, Davis. And 2 down. Win a chance to have lunch with Buck Showalter, courtesy of Masson. Just be sure to follow Masson on Twitter. Use hashtag MassonOrioles in your tweets all week long to be automatically entered to win. Two down, bases are empty. And here is Joyce. Another guy with a lot of at-bats against Chris. He is 7 for 24, and he's got 2 home runs. Lifetime off Tillman.
Yeah, Chris threw 33 home runs last year on his way to 16 wins. 24 here, only 9.
Ripped to first and foul.
Well, if Matt Joyce gets pitches, I mean, the first game he walked along with the 2 hit, double off the center field wall. Drove in a run, went on a fastball away, hit it against the shift right between Hardy, where Hardy would have played, into left field. A nice little game. That's kind of what the Orioles expect.
And a broken bat line drive to first base. A little looper that falls into the glove of Davis. The home run by Loney on the board with a 1 away and nobody on in this inning, and it's 1-0 Rays. Hansen being recognized by the Orioles, continuing to salute those who served their country. He's a lieutenant, U.S. Navy, 97, Naval Science Institute in Rhode Island, out of Iowa State University, a tactical and navigator coordinator during the Iraqi deployment in '09, and recognized with a standing ovation by the crowd and the players here at Camden Yards. Let's take a look at our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Joseph Palazzi from Baltimore. You get 500 for being selected. You get 500 for every Orioles home run. Play the Orioles scratch off for the Maryland Lottery. Your chance to be the contestant of the game. Win a trip to see the Orioles play at Wrigley or to the World Series. Learn more at mdlottery.com/Orioles. Chris Davis. Odorizzi's pitch will be taken outside for a ball. Davis with a 1 for 4. Lifetime off the right-hander. And a swing and a miss. Odorizzi, fastball, splitter, slider, 53% fastball, 17 sliders, 17 splitters rather. The slider is show me pitch. Davis after that one can't catch up on a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Yeah, I was talking to Brian Anderson, former left-handed pitcher, does color analyst on their television broadcast with Dwayne Stats. He said 91 gets by people, so he must be very deceptive.
And we want to welcome you joining us for bonus coverage here at Camden Yards. Those who are watching the Nationals game. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer here. 1-0 lead for Tampa Bay. That one in the air to center here, and again just missed on the warning track. But a little bit underneath that one, a 400-foot fly ball out, and we've had 3 long fly balls already for the Orioles that have stayed in the yard.
Yeah, you walk in if you're a pitcher and you either sit in the dugout or come up with one of the ramps and you look around, especially Camden Yards, 333 down the line, 364 to left center, 373 to the right center, and then 318 down the right field line. Where do you want to pitch to? Big part of the ballpark if you can.
He's able to do it in the middle.
Yep.
Which is what he did. And as you can tell, a fly ball pitcher. So Odorizzi does a lot of. He's only had 1 win on the road this year. He's 1-4 ERA, 1.76 in road games. That's going to be a base hit into right center field. Hardy. So the Orioles shortstop will get the Orioles' second hit. This one with 1 away, second inning.
Yeah, you just keep figuring out it when J.J. Hardy, who is probably about 30, maybe 28, 30 points higher than his batting average last year, even though he did hit 25 home runs, 1 this year. But sooner or later, if you stay inside the ball and you get in good habits, you're going to start hitting home runs. So again, that's a pretty good pitch. He just kind of insided it out, so you don't get the home run, but you do get on base.
Orioles were really held down offensively in that first game this afternoon. Only had 3 hits, got 2 runs on 3 hits. Machado, of course, with a home run, one of those.
Well, Odorizzi has much more experience, but doesn't have the stuff. Maybe a little bit more of a pitcher than a thrower. Alame kind of, and again, it's not a derogatory thing. His stuff is so good. He was able to more or less throw his way through and he gets a major league win. First time he ever faced the Orioles. He was effectively wild in the zone, and his stuff was good enough to play.
Lowe did not play in the first game. He's 1 for 5 off Odorizzi. Shift on against him in the infield. Pitch will be taken up high. Hannigan up to get it. And the count will go to 2-0. Will walk a few. The 30 walks in 77 innings pitched. Fewer hits than innings pitched, but you put the walks together with the hits, and he's working with somebody on base in just about every inning.
No, third organization, and he's only 24. First rounder, 32nd guy picked in 2008. Then went from Milwaukee in the Zach Greinke trade.
Down to third, off the glove, rolls into center field. No further advancement on it in there. Hitting against the shift. Longoria made the dive for it. He was the only one over there with a chance at it, and it just went off his glove.
Yeah, I thought he was going to catch it, but the ball hit pretty sharply, and then because David Lowe has speed, he's playing in. So take another look. Kind of a short hop, gets the bottom of the glove. Probably felt it was going to come up, but it stayed down. And
base hit for Lowe.
Yeah.
So the Orioles get 2 on with 1 away here in the second inning, and Hundley coming up. Joseph did the catching in the first game, so Nick gets the chance here. The Orioles' second chance with a runner in scoring position. They are 0 for 1.
Well, we saw Nick get some big hits right center field against the Yankees over the weekend.
And the pitch is up high for a ball. Well, the Orioles trying to get it tied up or better here in the bottom half of the second.
Well, they got to stop doing what they did in the first. In 5 double plays in the last 2 games against the White Sox, 2 tonight. And they got to get back in the Earl Weaver mode. Pop up or strike out. I mean, that's his idea of helping the club. If you're going to make it out, don't hit a ground ball at somebody.
Well, this is a fly ball pitcher, so you got a better chance of doing that against Odorizzi.
So you work into these counts, and then you have to look in these counts for pitches that you can drive, not their pitch, yours. And if it isn't in your zone, and Nick been around long enough to know what that is, what that zone is, then you take it. Hit on your terms.
2-0 delivery on the way to him, and it's going to be in the strike zone.
Oh,
2-1.
What a horrible call. He took that because he thought it was high. And it was, but it wasn't called high.
Huntley 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position this year, and he was sure that was going to be up, and so was Buck Showalter.
Kind of like to change up the Jennings to start the game. Right down the middle, almost underneath the leather.
Runners off first and second base, 2-1. Odorizzi the look and the delivery in about the same place. This time a swinging strike, and it's 2-2. Orioles' second doubleheader. They had a win against Pittsburgh, swept that doubleheader. It is the fourth doubleheader they've ever played against Tampa Bay. They have swept one, been swept in one, and split the other. Got to go back to 2008 for the last doubleheader these teams played. Towering fly ball down the line and left. Brandon Guyer, it's traveling over near the line, and it is a foul ball. As we said, this is a day-night doubleheader. Orioles this afternoon lost. James Loney had a solo shot. Second inning, for this ball game, had that home run in this one in the second. Chris Tillman has given up the run on the hit in 2, and Odorizzi inning in the third here with nothing.
Yeah, if you keep throwing fly balls like he is and get into these counts, and I think this is what Ryan Hannigan's talking about. You got to pitch a little bit more down in the zone because one of these balls is going to carry out of here. The wind was blowing in, and at least it appeared to be in early this afternoon. I'm not sure that's the case anymore. Looks like it may be just blowing out a little bit, but maybe helping the hitters a little bit.
But Odorizzi's given up 7 home runs in the 78 innings that he's worked. 4 to lefties, 3 to righties. Opponent batting average at .239, pretty good. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. Hundley waiting on it. And again, working up high to him, and it's going to take it full 3-2.
Yeah, it looks like he can't quite find where to get over that front side and bring the ball down. And maybe having some dirt problem, mud problems. We heard him in between games tamping down the clay. But sometimes it will cake in your spikes trying to get rid of it.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Hardy off second, Lowe off first. 3-2 delivery. Runner's not going. It'll be to left field. Guyer was deep. He's not going to get it. Runner's got the big break. Hardy will score. Here's the play at third on Lowe. Not in time. Base hit, RBI for Nick Hundley. Ties the game.
Wow, nice little kind of fisted. Almost like that, where you use the old golf bet. You get one throw. You can throw it somewhere, anywhere on the golf course. Well, he just kind of throws it down the line, right off the fist. Well, the Orioles will tie it up right here on this base hit. Another pitch up in the zone. So right about label high, and then it's nice of your David Lowe. Here comes Hardy to make it. That's the first run. It's almost like David Lowe has a turbocharger. He comes around second, stutter steps and stops, and then just decides I'm going and still beats it.
So Hundley picks up the RBI for the Orioles, his 5th of the year. Now first and third, still only 1 away. Ryan Flaherty batting 9th, playing at second base. 2 good pieces of base running on that base hit. Hardy took off. He read it perfectly, and he came around third when the ball was touching down in the outfield. And then Lowe, as Jim said, following it up to get from second to third. That was a good read by Hardy. That wasn't that clear that ball was going to fall in, but he
never
knew
hesitated.
No, he never hesitated. He took off.
Jonathan Scope said, how'd you do that? Well, I kind of looked around, saw where they were playing, and read the ball off the bat and scored easily.
All that. 0-1 count, creeping in at third base. Longoria on the pitch. He started moving in and was in on the grass by the time the ball was delivered. Flaherty looking down to third to Bobby Dickerson. You got Lowe with that great speed. Dickerson comes over and talks to him at third base. That was the other thing. He was getting a big lead, and they wanted the Rays wanted to cut that down, so they moved Longoria closer, and he's going to stay in even with a bag. Shift is on too, so a lot of room from between second and third for Flaherty if he can put one on the ground.
Well, either that or in this count again, Ryan doesn't play as much as Scope does, but these are those hitters counts where what's your hot zone? Well, you're a better fastball hitter in the zone, not chasing. Get a pitch to hit, drive it somewhere. If you get it in the air, you're going to put the Orioles ahead. Don't roll over on a changeup down and away. If that's what he throws, take it.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and Flaherty, a strike at the knees to him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan not playing in game 1 of this doubleheader. His chances here. Still checking down at third with Bobby Dickerson. With Hundley, the runner at first base, being held by Loney. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And foul.
Yeah, there's a good pitch up and in. But now Ryan Flaherty in the defensive mode. Just try to put a good swing on it.
And as so many teams are doing, depending on the count, you change the shift. They move Zobrist, the shortstop, back over on the shortstop side at second base with the count having 2 strikes in it, 2-2. Lowe watching his lead at third.
Well, I guess their charts say that when he gets the 2 strikes, he's more up the middle.
2-2. Delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, good pitch. Again, that quadrant up and in. I mean, to hit this pitch, you have to hit it well out in front. So if you're trying to defend the strike zone and you don't get the bat head out, and it's just in enough where it's almost like it's perfectly located.
Now Nick Markakis coming up. The Orioles 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position now tonight. Nick flied out, hit the ball hard to right field, first time up. As the DH in the ball game.
Well, he got one of those changeups that sped up the bat and almost hit it out like Loney did on the changeup off the Tillman.
289 off the Rays this year, an RBI. Odorizzi, runners off first and third, and that pitch will be taken up for a ball.
Yeah, Odorizzi with 10 strikeouts. I mean, that's a career high. That was in his last start against Houston earlier on in the year against a pretty good hitting team, one of the better teams in baseball, Oakland. He struck out 8. And then 11 against the Indians, who came in here really swinging the bat well.
Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that'll be taken inside.
The ball almost got by Hannigan. Caught it at the last moment.
Markakis with a 4 for 7 lifetime against Odorizzi. So the pitcher careful here to the left-handed batter, who's seen him pretty well in the limited at bats.
Well, hitting a walk in the first game and 4 hits on Wednesday for Nick. So swinging the bat well.
2-0 count. Markakis will take it, and it's outside. So the count goes to 3-0. Odorizzi staring in, thought he had a strike there, didn't get it. Low at third, Hundley at first. Hundley the RBI base hit. Orioles looking to get the lead in the game. They had the lead in the first game, first inning run 1-0, but it ended in the second and they never got it back. And Markakis will take it, and they're loaded.
Yeah, I don't know why they're complaining, because those balls are off the plate. I mean, Hannigan turned around. Maybe trying to defend his young pitcher, but they're not strikes. And if you want to earn them, you're not going to. I mean, he's all over the place, and that's why the bases are loaded.
The Jamaica goes out. The pitching coach to have a word with him. You got Manny Machado. He's going to get the opportunity with the sacks full, and the Orioles with a run in here in the second and tying the ball game up.
Well, he's got a 5-game hitting streak, single home run in the first game. And you throw Manny Machado a curveball or something that hangs up, and that's what this is, and it's gone. Brad Boxberger didn't even follow it. He was off the bat, a line drive, and he crisply hit into the seats here at Camden Yards. You want to score more runs at home. They came in at what, 3.29, Gary? That's 29th out of 30 teams. Get a base hit here. Doesn't have to be a double or whatever. Just dump it in somewhere. Ground ball up in the hole. 2 outs. Everybody running. Whole complexion of the game changes.
Manny Machado with a grand slam this year is 1 for 3 with the bases loaded. And he takes the pitch for a strike on the outside corner. 2 down. Orioles big chance here to put some runs up on the board and get an early lead. They're out hitting the Rays 4-1 early.
And pitch count at 37.
Runners with their leads. The 0-1 delivery. Machado will take it outside. Not close. 1-1.
Well, it's almost like he's pitching around the strike zone tonight. Comfortable with pitching off the edges, but not quite hitting them.
Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Manny pitch it rode in a little bit, fouls it off, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. So Odorizzi gets a big strike there. Odorizzi's pitched in this ballpark against the Orioles at 0-1 record that he has against the O's. 3 appearances, 2 starts. The starts both this year and both here. Took the loss in the first game, non-decisioned in the second outing. 1-2. Machado waiting on it and went after one out of the strike zone, struck him out. So the Orioles will get only 1 run. They do it on 3 hits, no errors, and leave the bases loaded. 1-1. Game tonight brought to you by Miller Lite. Big crowd on hand here this Friday. Hardy picking up the 1-out single and would come around to score for the Orioles on the RBI by Hundley to get the ball game tied up before the big house here on this Friday night. We go to the 3rd inning. It'll be the Rays catcher Hannigan, then Forsythe, top of the order Jennings against Chris Tillman. Hannigan born in Washington, D.C., but spent his baseball playing time in high school in Massachusetts in Andover, and selected for the Reds and traded over in a deal back in December of 13.
Well, they like his fact that he's a good defensive catcher, and a little bit of struggle offensively till recent weeks. Had an 0 for 28 starting in May going into June, and recently got 9 for his last 22, which is just a tad under 500, so starting to get some hits.
Hannigan's had 6 doubles, 4 home runs, 26 RBIs.
So he gets to look fastball here in the middle of the plate, and this 2-0 count.
Chris Tillman with a 2-0 delivery on the way. Hannigan will get a short with it, a 1 hopper. J.J. Hardy's throw to Davis on the money. 1 away, 3rd inning. Celebrate the 60th anniversary season of the Orioles Sunday. First 20,000 fans, 15 and over, get the 1954 Orioles cap presented by DAP. And then after the game, the kids 14 and under will get to have their own dreams as they'll get to run the bases after the day game. Tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. That's all coming up Sunday. Orioles are now 7-2 against Tampa Bay on the year after losing the day part of our day-night doubleheader. Pitch is in there for a strike. Forsythe getting the start. He did not play in game one. Logan Forsythe at second base in this game. Tillman with the 0-1 delivery to him, and Forsythe will hit it towards the hole. Hardy's got it. Can he get it over there? Long throw. Oh, yeah. Davis with a big stretch, and Hardy had enough muscle on it to get the out.
Yeah, what an arm there. The important part here, and Mike Porter could talk volumes about this because he was a terrific shortstop, is can you get your feet set? And he can't get it. Now watch this. Watch him get him foot set off the right foot. Good load. Boy, not even close. Ball hit very, very sharply. You got to appreciate that, as Chris Tillman does. Base hits and out.
2 outs to the shortstop on the assist in this inning. Here's Jennings, a strikeout victim. The DH leading off in the order. He's 2 for 17 lifetime off Tillman. Tillman's got a chance for another 1-2-3 inning. Loney's home run in the second. Hundley's RBI for the Orioles in the second. 1-1 game. Back to the screen.
Yeah, after the 7-inning shutout innings by Chris Tillman, Paul O'Neill, who was a terrific hitter, he was doing the Yankee game, left-handed hitter. He said Tillman must be deceptive because they kept swinging a lot of high pitches and popping them up, fouling them off. I said, yeah, he won 16 games, 9-3 the year before.
0-2 is going to be up high.
So there's something in there that 90 maybe translates a little bit more. And as we mentioned, his velocity a little bit higher in New York than it is tonight. But he's been at 92, which is a couple of ticks higher than maybe 3-4 starts ago.
1-2 delivery on the way. That's going to be fouled back. No roster changes for the Orioles for this game. There will be for tomorrow's game. Another interesting thing Oriole fans keep an eye on is Nolan Reimold. Reimold's back and playing. His rehab assignment ends this weekend. They've either got to put him on the roster or put him on waivers.
Or put him on the DL because he did hurt his groin again.
Oh, yeah.
He's been hitting well. You know what? Last 13 games, 359, couple home runs, 9 RBIs, 3 doubles. And but when he had to play the outfield, I mean, neck a lot better. In fact, everything seems to be a lot better, but strained the groin a little bit.
2-2 delivery on the way, and he got it. Good off-speed pitch by Tillman. That'll be his second strikeout, and he has a 1-2-3 inning and a 1-1 ball game. On Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. and by Luna. For biddable new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. 1-1 ball game here in the night portion of our doubleheader. Oh yeah, that's trouble right there. That's trouble. Good trouble. Good trouble. Jones, Cruz, and Davis will be due up bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, Odorizzi pitches himself out of trouble. Bases loaded strikeout. 3 base hits on a base on balls, but only gives up 1 run, and now all of a sudden you're right back into the big boys.
Jones had the double in the first inning, now 4 for 9 off Odorizzi lifetime. Adam continues his strong month, trying to get back up to 300, 293, 14 homers, and 47 RBIs on the season for Adam Jones. Took the 0 for 4 into the 6-game hit streak in that first game. And the delivery to him, the off-speed pitch, had him way out in front.
Well, that's the pitch that he did not have in spring training, and so he's throwing 92, 67 miles per hour. Another, I saw Dave Johnson, former Oriole pitcher, does a lot of radio. His son Steve pitches for Norfolk. That's a Steve Johnson. You know, under 70. He actually throws some in the low 60s.
0-1 count, delivery on the way to Jones, and then you follow it up with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and that's a pretty good differentiation.
Yeah, from the basement to about the 4th floor.
Wow. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Adam. Jones will half check and get a base hit.
Everybody in the dugout yelling, he hit it like you threw it.
It's a base hit.
That's exactly what he did.
And he's smiling.
Yeah. Well, that's excuse me, but it's excuse me into center field for a base hit.
Boy, that's a cricket
it
shot
does look
right
like
there.
cricket,
That was
doesn't
a great cricket shot. 2 for 2 in the ball game for Adam Jones. And you can bet Loney's telling him how powerful he looked on that swing. Here's Cruz, leadoff man on for the O's.
Not as powerful as my home run, by the way.
No.
But yeah.
Cruz grounded out his first time up. Now Odorizzi will keep an eye on him over there. Base stealers. Only had way up.
Hannigan just got 3 inches taller on that.
Odorizzi's thrown some high pitches, but that one is about as high as he's gotten.
Yeah, this is easily could have gotten to the screen. Ryan Hannigan flags it down before it gets there. Yeah, he's talking, hey, you got to throw over your front side downhill if you can. You can still pitch up in the zone that way. And it's all about, sometimes you get a little jumpy, so your stride gets long, and instead of landing on the ball of your foot, you get a little bit on the heel. And it's impossible to bring the head down and get the ball down a little bit lower in the zone.
Cruz with a 1-0 count. Adam Jones, not a big lead at first, being held by Loney. On the check swing, they go to first, no, Jim Wolf. And the count is 2-0. So Odorizzi continues wandering around the strike zone.
That's what Jim Wolf is looking at. And it could have been another single.
Eye of the beholder.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
2-0 count. And that one's inside, and
yeah,
not sure what that was.
Yeah, a little slider that he didn't quite stay on top of, and it just spins.
Right along the batter's box chalk line. And it's now 3-0 on Cruz.
As he's swinging.
Why not? Taken, and it'll catch the inside corner for a strike. Three and 1. Orioles have 5 hits in the game, 4 singles, and a double picked up by Jones in the first inning. He's on at first right now, 3 and 1. 24-year-old checks him over there. 3-1 delivery. Cruz goes up, fouls it back.
Yeah, you just have to have him bring the ball into the zone, and that was a little bit out of the zone. It's all right to be aggressive when you get into the hitter's counts, but you still have to swing at strikes. And Cruz having a marvelous year. Might even be better if he could just bring it down a tick into those counts.
Cruz had the 0 for 4 in the afternoon game. Average at 288.
Jonesy will be running here.
3 ball, 2 strikes, throw over. Jones back to the bag. Base stealers only 2 out of 6 against Odorizzi this year. Not a lot of running and not a lot of success.
And for the Orioles, Adam 3 out of 3. David Lowe with 5 steals.
3-2 count coming. Jones goes down to third. Longoria's got to go to first. Ball hit hard and will record the out. Jones gets down to second base. Our Major League Notebook on the East Wins page. The Red Sox going through a stretch here, 16-24 in the last 40. Find themselves 8 games back in the East. They played the Yankees in a series starting tonight. The 5-2 record versus Boston this year for New York. And R.A. Dickey of Toronto, he's going to go tonight against the White Sox with a career 8.22 ERA against Chicago. It'll be his 3rd outing against the White Sox this season. 1 very good and 1 very bad. They're underway, no score in the 3rd, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead over Boston in the 3rd inning. And Davis with a runner on at second base. Going to hold Jones close. Forsythe almost right on the bag with him. Davis flied out to center first time up. Orioles 1 for 4. Runners in scoring position. Foul back over the screen.
Yeah, there's a home run ball. Stayed on it pretty well. I like that swing. And shaking his head. Last year probably would have gone out of here. On his way to 53 home runs. Just stayed through it.
Jones checking, make sure he gets off as far as he can. And there at second base. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Chris has had very little luck against Tampa Bay pitching this year. He's with the 0 for 1 in this ball game, 3 for 19. He has had 1 home run against the Rays. Against Odorizzi, 1 for 5. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Forsythe holding Jones. Otherwise shift on and got that one by him. Late on the swing. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's way up high. Sometimes Odorizzi has virtually no follow through.
No.
The arm just kind of dangles out in front of him.
Well, again, when you don't get over the front side, it's impossible to bring the ball down. You get an idea that I think he just gets jumpy. In spite of his credentials, this is his first major league year.
3 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and Davis takes it, and another one.
Yeah, that's almost a recoil. You're right there. Just not allowing his body to. Again, watch his front leg. Let's see how long his stride is. When he actually gets it down, he just can't seem to be able to time it where he can get up over his front side. And I always thought we were taught, and the way you do it, and he hasn't thrown a lot of balls low and away. If you can throw the ball low and away to a right-hander, it causes you to do that. It causes you to have what they call the perfect windup. He has done a lot of that tonight.
It's his 22nd major league start in his career. Two on and 1 out. And the pitch in there for his strike. Hardy, a base hit, 2nd inning. He would come around to score the run that's up there for the Orioles. AJ with a 265 number against Tampa Bay this season. No home runs, 3 RBIs against them. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that will be taken up high. Jones on at second base with a leadoff single. Moved down on the ground ball. Davis the walk on at first. 1-1 delivery in the air, left field. Going back on the near the warning track. Brandon Guyer's there, puts it away. Runners will stay right where they are as he gets it in a hurry. 2 down. Time for all fans to tweet your photo using hashtag #MASSonFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. He missed Mardi Gras, but let's celebrate anyway. Here's David Lowe. Lowe with a base hit. 2 down now, 2-1. Now Zobrist, the shortstop, holding Jones at second. That ball's going to be popped up. Longoria coming over. He's got room and makes the catch. Snow-coned it, but put it away. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base. The Orioles have left runners stranded in all 3. Brought to you by Volkswagen. August 10, 2012. Major League debut the night before. Manny Machado, 5th inning. First career home run. Then Machado in the 6th. 3-run shot to seal the Orioles' 7-1 victory over the Royals. And at the age of 20 years, 35 days, the youngest player in Orioles history to have a multi-homer game after Boog Powell in 62, who is 20 years, 258 days old. Manny Machado, August 10, 2012. Great house on hand here in this beautiful night, all the way from New Zealand, where the Sauvignon Blancs
are made. Exactly. Marlborough region.
Sun setting off the warehouse. Beautiful evening. We started at 80 degrees and just a little breeze blowing. Tillman back to work. And the pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Jeremiah grounded out his first time up, and a fine play made by Manny Machado as he tried to pick up the infield hit. Machado in on the grass at third base again, and the pitch will be inside. Jackknifes him away. And a 2-0 count.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman struggled with his command, but what he was able to do after the infield hit, the jam shot, really get him out with his changeup. 2-0, a little bit harder to do that.
Ground ball towards second base. Flaherty's there.
Wow.
Jeremiah is retired. And 1 down. Take a look at our Krieger Eye Instituto's upcoming schedule. From routine to the most specialized eye care, LifeBridge Health's Krieger Eye Institute handles it all. Call 410-601-2020 for a same-day appointment. The doubleheader today, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and then Sunday at 1:30 against the Rays, and then the Rangers will be in next week. So the Orioles' 11-game homestand continuing. Here's Zobrist, and he'll hit a ground ball. Davis, nice play. Tillman covers.
Well, there you go. Sharply hit. A little bit of a high hop. Great angle right here. Ball goes up. Catches it. And then Tillman, you can see him right there. Everybody yelling, get over, get over. And he does.
2 quick outs. Longoria flying out to left field his first time up.
Yeah, the Rangers have, at least going into tonight, lost 8 in a row.
Delivery on the way to him. Jason Grilli traded today. Angels. Pittsburgh cut the deal. Pittsburgh gets Ernesto Friere the other way. Grilli goes over to the Angels.
Yeah, he lost his closer role, and Friere was struggling with the Angels. So
2 struggling bullpen guys, hoping a change of scenery helps.
Because Grilli, he was just about to get off the DL when the Orioles played the Pirates.
Umpire. David Rackley got that one.
That big curveball fouled off at home plate. And
catchers who understand these things go out to the mound.
I want to take a moment up here
for what?
After he gets hit. That's hit in the groin area, and that you wear a cup, doesn't matter. Still feel it.
Need one of those pitcher's helmets.
Oh, you want to, protection on 3 sides.
Yes. 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down on Longoria. Yankees also announcing Sabathia is going to start throwing in rehab. First rehab tomorrow. Class A. He's going to pitch for Tampa on Saturday, so they're going to start his rehab, try to get him back. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Delivery on the way, and that's going to be to left field, and it will fall in for a base hit. David Lowe to play it. Longoria gets the 2-out single. The voting is going to end on Thursday for the All-Star game. Several Orioles still looking for your support. Nelson Cruz leading DH. Matt Wieters catching. Adam Jones closing in for an outfield spot. You can cast your vote up to 35 times, and the only way to do it is online now. So get on to Orioles.com/vote-orange. You could win an autographed All-Star game jersey and 35 chances to vote. Orioles.com/vote-orange. Loney, the home run that came in the second inning, is 4th of the year. Runner at first and 2 down. And he'll foul it the other way.
Now you got to remember the last time up we saw a couple of those, and then the changeup. So late on the fastball, right on the changeup, and that was a solo home run. Just over the ground crew canopy in right center field.
Chris Tillman, familiar with these kinds of games. As we mentioned, the run support here very little at home. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that will be late on a fastball fouled away.
Well, you noted it in the opening. They've gotten him what his quota for the year is. That's 1.01. They will double up his normal run support if they get another run. And on the road, it's over 7.
Amazing.
But again, as you've mentioned, and we duly noted, they were much better on the road offensively for some reason.
Here's the 0-2 delivery with that runner at first base, and that's going to tail outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strike count. 1-1 ball game for the Orioles. 1-5-0. The Rays 1-2-0. Rays have not left anybody on base. They've only had the home run and the single by Longoria in this inning for their hits. 1-2 pitch on the way, and the off speed had him tied up, but it wasn't there. 2-2. Lead at first Longoria just a couple of steps. 2-2 delivery on the way. The third base. Manny Machado again comes up with it, makes the strong throw, and records the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Another battle of pitchers. It's a 1-1 ball game. Of the day. Most managers don't really like doubleheaders. It can cause problems, especially in your pitching staff. Joe Maddon said it's always generated with one thought in mind. I understand that. It does pay the bills or whatever. Split doubleheaders he's talking about. But when it comes down to the health of individuals, talking about his players, it makes no sense whatsoever. Talking about having ball players showing up at 10 or 11 in the morning, leaving 10 or 11 at night, and all that, working out twice.
Did he come up with an alternative, like playing on off days?
That's another beauty, because you have to travel.
Maybe come in for one game.
Yep, not a good answer.
No, there isn't.
Antwerpen visit their new Route 32 Clarksville facility, and all month long they'll beat any competing offer on your trade-in. So hurry in today. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. First game of this doubleheader. It's pitched well. Kevin Gausman went to 5+. Meek went 2. Brad Brock went 2, effective. Colomé on the other side, 5 2/3. Then Boxberger for an inning and a third, and Belfour and McGee for 1 each. So the bullpens weren't completely disrupted. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Only the RBI base hit that came in the second inning. Odorizzi's pitch to him is going to be fouled back.
Well, talking about walk on a tightrope. 1 for 6 already. Orioles with runners in scoring position. So he gets him on. Talking about Odorizzi, Jake, and he's been able to get him out.
Orioles have had 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third left on base. 4 in scoring position out of the 6 on. And up again, and the Orioles chase those, and Odorizzi is going to be very happy.
Well, Ryan Hannigan, and it happens a little bit, but look where he moves and look where the ball is. I mean, he's not even close to the target. It doesn't matter. Again, the deception, it's not like, I mean, he's not overpowering, maybe a mile harder than the major league average at 92, but must have life, must have deception, and they're just not catching up with it.
Flaherty coming up. Orioles second baseman, batting 9th in the order. 1 down, nobody on. Flaherty, a long, high fly ball foul. Flaherty, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Odorizzi with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Tillman hasn't walked anybody, and he has struck out 2 for the Orioles.
Yeah, the Flaherty strikeout. I mean, Ryan struck out in the second. That was runners at first and third. So a fly ball, anything but a double play ball might have gotten a run. And he's throwing it right by a guy that lives to hit the fastball. And probably a better high ball hitter. I don't mean letters, but somewhere around the belt. And he didn't even get to it.
0-2 the count. Shift on in the infield. And Flaherty gets it in the air to right field. Back by the scoreboard, but it's another fly ball out, caught by Joyce. And there are 2 down. Our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you.
Well, Tim Berry, I saw him in spring training. He actually came up here briefly, didn't pitch. I really like him. I mean, he's a young pitcher. Because of Tommy John surgery in high school, the Orioles were lucky to even get him. So learning how to pitch, first year at AA and progressing. Just stay healthy, get back out there, chance to pitch in the big leagues and be effective from what I saw.
2 down, bases are empty. Leadoff batter Nick Markakis. He has walked and flied out. Odorizzi's had a lot of fly balls, which generally in this yard is a dangerous way to live, but he's had him hit to the deepest part, and the ones that have gone to left and right have been high in the air.
Now, if you sit on the bench, and there are a lot of guys that they call it, gap power. Those are the guys that hit doubles, and then you have the warning track power. It's been a game of warning track power. 10 more feet, 5 more feet.
1 ball, 1 strike delivered to Markakis. Got one to drive and fouled it back.
And he's just riding the ball right by him. But that's the kind of offense the Orioles have. I mean, it's the 3rd time through the Orioles. They're not ducking pitches. They're not saying make this guy bring the ball down, and they may be talking about it right there. Buck Showalter on our right, and John Russell, the bench coach.
And the 1-2 delivery on the way. Markakis won't lay off the high one either, and that's the 4th strikeout, 2 in the inning. First time the Orioles have been retired. 1, 2, 3 will complete 4 innings. Bank for the achiever in you by visit Annapolis.org. Find it here. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. Sunset time on this Friday night, and a beautiful one it is. And a ball game here at Camden Yards that is knotted at 1 apiece. Home run Loney in the 2nd inning. RBI Hundley singled in the 2nd inning. Tillman with no walks and a couple of strikeouts. Brandon Guyer will lead it off, hitting at .297. Guyer popped out his first time up and will take the big cut on the first pitch seen here. First outing against Tampa Bay for Tillman. 3 runs, 5 hits over 6. Worked into the 7th inning of that ball game. Guyer had to wait and almost got a base hit out of it.
300 hitter last year at AAA, and 7 home runs. Coming into the year, as you mentioned in the first game, 2 of the 3 home runs he's hit in the major league level has been right here at Camden Yards.
Came back off the DL on the 19th. 0-2. Guyer goes to short. Hardy gets it.
Yeah, they can get down the line.
In our Major League Notebook, under numbers of note here, Rick Porcello of Detroit, 10 wins each of his first 6 seasons. He's among the few in that department. Jose Reyes, Toronto, first 4-hit game of the season yesterday, and the 28th of his career, ranked second in 4-hit games in the leadoff spot among active players. Only Ichiro has more. J.A. Happ in Toronto this season, 7-4, 4.3 ERA in the 11 starts he has had. Only Mark Burley has pitched better for Toronto than has Happ since he joined the Jays. That one's going to be fouled off by Joyce, who lined out his first time up.
Yeah, Happ hit with the line drive off the head last year, so it's great to see him back. I mean, stuff. Watched him pitch. He pitched against the Orioles. Didn't pitch well. Actually pitched pretty well, but I mean, his stuff is much better than I thought.
Doing a number for him,
yeah,
helping him to hang on to that #1 spot in the East. Rick Porcello with the Tigers there with a 10th win of the year. The only active pitchers with at least 10 wins in each of their first 6 or more years are Sabathia, Tim Hudson, and Jared Weaver among the actives. Pitch is taken up high. Joyce to be followed by Hannigan, 6, 7, 8 in the lineup.
Yeah, this is where you got to be careful. I mean, again, single double, booming double off the wall. Fastball count, pull hitter, and he takes it
for a strike.
It's almost like he was looking for something else.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield straight up on Joyce. And the 2-2 delivery will go the other way, foul. Well, the Orioles trying to split this doubleheader, maintain their positioning against the front-running Blue Jays and the Yankees, who jumped out to a 4-0 lead over Boston. Orioles right now are 2.5 behind Toronto. Yankees 3 games out. That one in the air to right field. Cruz started in, backs up way back on the warning track. A lot of warning track fly balls in this one. Joyce retired. Back your birds during the second half of the year and enjoy Major League savings by reserving your Birdland Summer 6-pack. Ticket 26 of your choice for the remainder of the year, up to 20% off the cost of regular season tickets. Can't sit out there, though. So lock in your seats now. I know you'd like to. Just go to Orioles.com/6-pack or call 888-848-BIRD. So, you know, they're having fun. Grounds crew with a field level view.
And no rain in the forecast.
And that's why they're celebrating. Here's Hannigan, who takes it for a strike. 2 down, nobody on. Hannigan grounded out. Don't forget, it is a late day game tomorrow, 4 o'clock for the ball game. Game 3 out of 4. These teams are going to play in this set. Wei-Yin Chen, Eric Bedard, the former Oriole, down to third and foul. 4 o'clock for the ball game Sunday, 1:35.
Pitching coach dream right at 4:05 to get into the twilight. Hitting instructor's nightmare. Maybe get some shadows if it's a bright day. There is Eric Bedard.
Eric watching the Oriole hitters.
He pitched against the Orioles. He gave up the grand slam, the ball right down the left field line that Chris Davis hit. But as a whole, actually pitching pretty well for him. Another guy you never underestimate.
And the pitch is going to be inside. 1 ball, 2 strike count from Tillman. Tillman up the 62 pitch count here in the 5th inning, getting people out. Home run by Loney and the single by Longoria, the only hits.
Yeah, to this point, very, very efficient.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. Yeah. He did not walk anybody 2 starts ago, and then had 4 in the last outing. No walks in this one.
17, almost 17.5 pitches per inning, which is up about a half a pitch an inning, so not that much difference from last year, but up a tick.
2-2 taken outside. So a 3-ball, 2 strike count. Hannigan with a good eye. Their veteran catcher. Forsythe, number 9 hitters waiting on deck. Tillman not wanting to turn that order over. Here's the 3-2, and he will. There's the first walk he has surrendered in the ball game. Comes to 2 away. That'll bring Forsythe up. His second at bat. He grounded out. Fine play made by Hardy against him that robbed him of a hit. Logan Forsythe last season with San Diego got into 75 ball games. He's never had a full year at the majors, playing each of the last 3 in about half the season with the Padres. Big club. 2 down here, and the pitch is up high for a ball.
Yeah, had the plantar fascia problem last year, so it was in and out of the lineup and on the disabled list. Another guy just like Hannigan, 9 for his last 20 coming in after going 1 for 23, and it seemed like when Hannigan struggled and Forsythe struggled, that's when the Rays went. They lost 10 in a row. They lost 14 out of 15 games.
1-0 delivery fouled.
And that's how they get their record of 33 and 48. One really bad spell where when you lose that many games, pretty disheartening. Kind of in the race, especially in the American League East, because nobody's run away with it and just end up losing games that you used to win.
12 games out, last place in the East for the Rays at the moment. 1 ball, 1 strike count with 2 down. Forsythe, Razorback out of Arkansas, 1-1. And that's a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. So Tillman looking to get that final out right here.
Yeah, a little fastball low and away, and well, really low and away. An overhead camera doesn't lie. Tells you the truth.
1-2. Short lead at first for Hannigan. And not quite the same place. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two ball, 2 strikes with Hannigan the lead at first base. And that's going to go to center. Jones coming in and will make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. The pitcher's controlling this one. 1-1. Willie McCovey stretch became the first player to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning twice in his career. He had done it also in 73. And in 1940 in this date, Jack Norworth Day was celebrated at Ebbets Field. Why? Well, Norworth and his partner Albert von Tilzer wrote the music to Take Me Out to the Ball Game, the music and the words, in 1908, but they had never been to a major league game until 1940. Willie McCovey, one of the game's great hitters in the Hall of Fame. 1986 baseball writers voted him in. 22-year career with the Giants. 521 homers, 2,200 hits plus, He led the National League in homers 3 times, RBIs twice, National League MVP 69 after being Rookie of the Year in 1959. Stretch McCovey, and a great Giant fan long after his playing days.
Yeah, that's one of the great things. Well, one of the more beautiful ballparks, usually sold out up in San Francisco, and doesn't miss too many games.
Nope. And a great delight to be around. Great baseball guy.
Such a quiet, till he puts a bat in his hand. He's a very soft-spoken. You saw a stretch because he's a big guy. One of the members of the 500 Homer Club.
Yep.
He used to go into Mickey Mantle's restaurant on Central Park South. And when you sat there, they had, at that time, 13 guys. And you look at them, and you know, it was hard to really like the food if you were a pitcher because of who you were looking at.
All the guys with 500 homers.
Run, yeah. Oh, yeah. What are you going to have to eat? Wow. None of those guys. A little nauseous.
Here's Manny Machado. Machado hitting second. He is flied out, struck out. Manny, I want to be a Machado man. Macho Manny.
Macho Man, salsa man.
Very good. Popcorn man.
Wow.
Had some of his popcorn last night. It's crab flavored popcorn. It's very good. But I'm not a big popcorn
fan. Where'd you get that?
Fan. Oh,
I mean,
after we got done bowling, we had some popcorn. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that is foul back.
Yeah, one of the big outs was Manny to strike out after. Seems like they had Odorizzi in trouble in the second inning. Pitched his way out of trouble and was able to keep the game at 1-1.
74 pitches thrown by the right-hander, and that's where a lot of them have been. 3 ball, 2 strikeout. Orioles have had the leadoff man only once. That was in the 3rd inning when they stranded 2. He's retired the side in order only once, and that was in the 4th. 3-2. Machado fouls it back.
Once again, belt high. Not that you know what's coming because he's used his other pitches. Great success at the minors, which told you signed with Milwaukee, 1st-round guy, and then 2010 when they traded Greinke, he came over to Kansas City, and then when they got James Shield, he came to Tampa Bay. And he almost falls down.
So the Orioles are going to get the leadoff man on again, and this time those ever dangerous leadoff walks. When the Orioles win, everyone wins, and all season long, when the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Adam Jones coming up. See if the Orioles can take advantage of that leadoff walk. Machado extending the lead a little bit with Loney holding the bag. Adam already 2 for 2, a double and a single off Odorizzi. And fouls it back. With those 2 hits, now Adam has picked up 5 hits in 10 at-bats with a home run off Odorizzi.
Yeah, I was trying to get another one right there. Big hack. A little slider on the first time. Got out in front, but double. And then the single the next time.
Orioles looking again to get back to 500 at home. They're 18-19. Just can't seem to move above that 500 mark in home games. They get there and then drop back again.
I just don't know why it's not like this ballpark all of a sudden they move the fences back, or we've had Santa Ana winds blowing here and the wind's blowing in. I mean, it's such a great place to hit. Maybe the infield a little bit slower than some infields, but not. It seemed like it was pretty firm early on, and just don't understand it, to be quite honest.
0-1 delivered. O's were 46 and 35 at home last year.
And scoring runs was not a problem.
Nope.
Well, if you walk in here, if you're a pitcher, I remember when it opened, Sterling Hitchcock pitching for Seattle. He said they just ought to blow this place up. He threw a grand slam to Chris Hoyle. He said this is unfair. And maybe the ball carried a little bit before the football. Maybe before some hotels were built around here.
1-1 delivery on the way. Jones got another base hit. He is seeing it. And the Orioles get it going here in the 5th inning. Jones with a 3-for-3 ball game.
Not a very,
nobody out.
You know, Gary, sometimes you just don't get guys out. A slider for a double. I mean, this was a changeup that filters right back in the middle of the plate. And I don't think he has any trouble seeing this. But he just smacks it into left field.
So a big chance now for the Orioles. They have picked up 8 hits in the ball game, but still trying to find a way to get that go-ahead run in. Nelson Cruz. And the pitch is going to be taken away. Odorizzi falls behind.
I mean, he wants what Nelson did the first 2 times up, which is ground balls at his infielder. And Nelson, you know, he works himself into these counts. Much better high ball hitter than a low ball hitter. So don't chase something down. He's been pitching up all night long, but just make it be around the belt, not the letters.
Cruz won't go after it, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, a couple of loopy sliders to start it off to Nelson. Not even close to being strikes.
Now Jim Hickey a little closer, the pitching coach on the right to Madden. They get some stretching going on in the bullpen. 2-0 count. Odorizzi's delivery. Cruz will follow back.
Well, again, Nelson can look for a fastball. 91 right down the middle and can't quite get to it. So there's something in his windup, either the delivery, the way he hides the ball, the movement, on the location, because it was right down Broadway, and Nelson fouled it off. Just look at those numbers. 2 and 1. That'd be a good reason to throw ball 3, don't you think? 625 with 4 home runs.
He has grounded out twice. He'll take the pitch up high.
Yeah, see, he's under all his sliders, so you can eliminate that pitch. I mean, you're hitting off the fastball anyway, so if he hangs it, you'll be right on it.
Orioles 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Odorizzi's been good with nobody on, but as runners get on, the numbers climb. 246 with runners in scoring position against him. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and Cruz can't catch up to it. Right at the knees on the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, probably off the plate. Take a look right here. See, it's a ball. But Nelson having one of those kind of years where you got 64 RBIs and you hit 24 home runs and you think you can hit that pitch, but that was ball 4. And would have loaded him up for Chris Davis and then talk about being in some trouble.
3 ball, 2 strike count, 2 on, nobody out. Walk to Manny Machado, the base hit by Jones. Cruz, who has an 0 for 6 going today. 3-2 delivery, and he's gone.
Powder River. 91. Can't get it. I mean, just a little extra. So 91 doesn't translate when it gets to home plate as 91.
Hickey's going to come out. They'll talk with the Davis coming up.
Well, there is the pitch count.
And they just started their bullpen.
One out here in the 5th. Yeah. This is kind of a game. Well, pitch count at what, 86? 86. So it's not about that. It's just about the fact they haven't gotten many runs, and Orioles are maybe a hitter or 2 from putting some runs on the board. There's Juan Carlos.
It is going to be up at least for the moment. Odorizzi to get through at least Davis and try and find a way out of the inning. The shift will be put on. They'll stay in double play position, keeping Forsythe just on the outfield grass at second base. And Chris will take the pitch, and again it's going to be up high. Chris drew a walk, and he is flied out. 0 for 3 in the 2 games. Odorizzi consistently up in the strike zone or out of it. Up high, mostly.
Well, that's well said, because that's what he's been able to do. Ride the ball and the illusion to strike, and some of them don't end up. So that tells me there's some life. There's a high strike. About the only pitch that I can remember, and maybe in the last 7-8 batters, was the pitch he threw to Flaherty. He got it down and he ripped the line drive into left. But had a good swing, just didn't anything to show for it.
Davis with a 1-ball 1-strike count. Big inning right here in a 1-1 ball game. Runners off first and second. Another one up. And it goes to 2-1.
Well, you get into these streaks. The Red Sox, they started the road trip they're on when they were out on the West Coast. They were 1-5. They were 4 for 41 with runners in scoring position. You mentioned the Orioles now 1 for 7 tonight. So if you get them on and you don't get them in, you don't score runs unless you hit home runs, and that's what the Orioles do the best.
Here's the 2-1 delivery to Davis. He'll foul it off the catcher Hannigan. Now it's the umpire's turn to go out.
Hit 91, not overpowering, pretty much right down the middle of the plate. And fouled off the right, to actually make it the left shoulder of Brian Hannigan. Well, Brian Anderson, again, the TV analyst for the Rays, said this is what he's been able to do. Just ride the ball by people.
Two and two on Davis. Lead runner Manny Machado being held by Forsythe at second. Only Longoria on the left side of the infield. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Davis will foul it back.
They're almost hoping, if you're Jim Presley and the Orioles, that he throws something other than the fastball, because they're not quite hitting that. Maybe to speed up the bat up with a changeup. That's what Markakis almost homered on leading off the game, or maybe hang a slider. What Belisario did to Chris Davis on Monday when he hit the walk-off home run.
Chris came into the day 300 average with runners in scoring position. Boy, the Orioles would love to get one here, get some runs for Tillman, who's held the Rays to just 2 hits. But one of those, the home run by Loney. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and again that pitch up high, and it's full. So Odorizzi closing in on the end of a start here. If he doesn't find a way to get some outs, he goes 3-2. He gets ground ball. He's got a chance to get out of the inning.
You think they'll be running?
Good question.
I mean, the only reason Longoria waved off the bag, good speed, both. Yeah, they are.
Runners go, and it's inside, and he walked him. So 4 walks, 2 in the inning, and the Orioles have loaded him up with 1 out.
Jim Hickey going to make sure if Oviedo ready. Certainly has plenty of time.
Hardy coming up with the sacks full.
One of the better numbers with runners in scoring position, and they singled the first time and just missed a home run on a changeup. The last time skied at the deep left field.
JJ 325 with an RBI chance. He's had 3 grand slams in his career. Odorizzi will stay on to work against him. And Hardy takes the pitch outside for a ball. And the fans up or on the edge of their seats here for this one. Big at bat. 1-0 delivery to him. Hardy will foul it back into the screen. Hardy 1 for 4 with the sacks full this year. Odorizzi closing in on the end of his start. That pitch count at 95.
Yeah, remember the sliders he threw to Manning, 3 really bad ones. Probably would be the pitch of choice here if he could throw it down, but I'm not sure if Ryan Hannigan thinks he will.
1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah. He goes into the sequence of signs, and a lot of times you'll wait for the catcher to go through it, but if they're not anywhere near what you want to throw, you back off, and that's what he does.
Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Close again, but not quite. Good eye, 2-1.
Yeah, he wants the outside corner, and this balls are just a little outside. One thing about David Rackley, he's called some high pitches, but he's made people, for the most part, throw the ball on the plate.
Hardy's had a couple of hits, 7 at bats, lifetime off Odorizzi. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Hardy will take it, and there's no place to put him, and it's 3-1.
Now that's a little different right there. Bill Madden going, well, but when's the last time you threw a low strike? That would be my question. I don't know if that might have been the first one that's down about the knees, and Rockley doesn't call it.
Three-1 delivery will be popped back, and it is full. He found the strike zone, 3-2. Odorizzi piling up the pitches with the 5 strikeouts and 4 walks in the game, together with the Orioles picking up some base hits against him, and now 2 managers keenly aware of the importance of this situation. 3-2 delivery. Hardy will hit it in the air. Foul territory. Loney over. Wants it and has it. Just enough room to put it away. 2 down.
Well, gutsy performance here, boy. Comes right back. Fastball hitter. Plenty of room for James. There's out number 2. Comes back from a 3-1 count to get the second out.
The now bases are loaded with 2 down, and David Lowe coming up. Lowe with the base hit, and he has popped out. On the year, Odorizzi's given up a couple of hits and 5 at bats with the bases loaded by opponents, and now he's got a 6th chance. 2 away. Game tied at 1. Lowe will take it. It is up high for a ball.
No, they called it a
strike.
A little late call by the home plate umpire. Tried to duck it. Watch him go down. I mean, stays down tonight.
It's a strike.
Favored the high pitch. And that's been the strike zone. And he's pitched there.
Machado, Jones, and Davis on base, and Odorizzi gets ahead. 2 strikes.
Hey, really, I mean this. They're just hoping he gets something down, because for whatever the reason, deception, velocity, movement, can't get on top of the high heater today to this point. And they play David Lowe very, very shallow. I mean, I'm talking about the outfield.
0-2 delivery to him. Lowe will take it. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Odorizzi's been up over the 100 pitch count about half of the ball games that he's pitched in. He's gone as high as 113 pitches in a ball game. 1-2 count. He's bearing down, trying to get through this 5th inning. Bases loaded, 2 away, and the 1-2 delivery on the way to Lowe, and another one even higher.
Yeah, at this point, you're just battling to get out of the inning. You don't care about what the total pitch count is. You can see the high. You can see tonight. You can see the average. The 2 opposing forces. David Lowe trying to pick the Orioles up when they're now what, 1-for-9 with runners in scoring position. Base hit here changes all those numbers.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that will be fouled back and out of play. He's got to get through this inning in order to have a chance to be a winning pitcher. Should he be able to get the Orioles out, and then Tampa Bay come back with runs in the top half of the 6th inning. But boy, you're really seeing this is a effort of great labor right now for Odorizzi. 2 ball, 2 strike count. 2 down. Infield shifted around, playing Lowe to pull. 2-2 delivery. Lowe will pop another one back, fighting it off.
Yeah, I'll retract. I had him 1-for-9 or 1-for-8. Still not a very good number. But 2-for-9 has a lot better ring if you're rooting for the Orioles.
He's taking as many deep breaths as he possibly can between pitches, looking for that extra bit of energy. Machado, Jones, Davis waiting. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Lowe swings through it. And Odorizzi will just kind of collapse. That's 6 strikeouts. The Orioles now are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and they've left 9 on base. Coming up tomorrow, it'll be Wei and Chen against the left-hander Eric Bedard. Our coverage on Massa will begin at 3:30 with those extra presented by Geico. In the game, note the start time, 4 o'clock. All the access you need right here on Massa.
A couple of lefties. You look at Bedard, 3 and 5. Once again, they know his capabilities. Used to pitch here. Wei and Chen, 7 and 2. So, he's been pitching well. And pretty good numbers lifetime against the Rays. So a couple of tough lefties. Bedard with the great curveball.
Tillman wondering, what have I got to do to get 2 runs of support?
Well, the emotional roller coaster sitting over there. You think, oh, gee, we're going to get a couple, 2, 3, maybe more. 1.
So a long rest for Tillman with that long inning, even though the Orioles did not score.
And then Raga, he's looking in. He's going, what was wrong with that pitch? A little breaking ball, knee high over the plate. So Rackley becoming a little bit inconsistent.
Jennings leading it off, and twice showing bunt. That time he fouls it off. He has struck out twice. He's only had 2 hits and 18 at bats lifetime off Tillman. That may be one reason why he's squaring around to bunt here and trying to get on. They've only had, Tampa Bay, 2 hits. Home run by Loney in the 2nd inning and the single by Longoria. The Orioles have an RBI from Hundley on a base hit. That's a broken bat fly ball to the Bermuda Triangle, but a great speed of Lowe. He's in there to put it away.
Yeah, the edge of the triangle closes very fast with his speed. And that was a tough play, only in the fact that big swing, not ball off the end of the bat. Sometimes you get a bad read, but not David Lowe.
Kiermaier coming up. He has grounded out twice, robbed of a hit by Manny Machado on a fine play back in the 1st inning. The outlaw hitting at .289, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. Machado will play in at 3rd base. Shows bunt, drags it. Oh, that's a beautiful bunt. Tillman, great play. Got him. Outstanding play, and here comes Joe Madden.
It's amazing now with the challenge play. The guys are running across the bag and already pointing, go challenge it.
Yep. Kiermaier with that great speed and charging down the line.
Yeah,
so.
I thought Chris Tillman might barehand this ball because the transfer. And again, I mean, really a speedster. Right there, shovel pass, gets it caught in his glove. So, bang, bang.
Now Madden's got to look back into the dugout for his replay official to tell him whether to challenge, and he says yes, so they will.
No, 1-1 ball game. You got speed, 6th inning. What do you got to lose? Trying to run. You got 2 hits. Maybe you'll have 3 if they reverse it.
So the call goes into New York, and let's see.
So they call him out, so there has to be something that would make you reverse that.
There has to be clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was incorrect.
Right.
Now that's one of those where you may get that middle decision, which I do not understand. It's called the stands. The rule stands. The call on the field stands because there's no clear and convincing evidence to confirm or overturn the call.
Yeah, it didn't look to me that for sure he was safe nor out, so they called him out, so it should stand. But again, they're the ones up there in New York that change it, make the rule. George Henrik said.
While we have a moment, we welcome those of you watching around the world on the Armed Forces Network. It's always great to have you with us. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer here in Baltimore at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, wherever you may be, men and women of the services. We really love having you with us. So they've heard something from New York, and the answer is safe.
How
about that?
So they must have seen something. Well, it can't be the tie went to the runner, even though they called him out.
If we can find the replay that they used in New York, sometimes they tell us, then we can show you the replay they relied on. In any event, they said there was clear and convincing evidence the call was wrong. So it'll be a base hit, infield single, and a big one here in the 6th inning. The challenge works.
Well, you have speed. You have the hole now because Chris Davis is going to have to hold Kiermaier on, and again he has the ability to go from first to third because he can flat out run.
Zobrist with the 0 for 2, couple of ground balls, and the pitch will be taken down low. Hundley working behind the plate, who has had problems in throwing out base stealers on the year. We'll see whether or not they would want to run in this situation. It's been very tough just to get people on.
Yeah, they did it against Caleb Joseph in the first game, and he gunned a couple out.
1-0 count from Tillman. And the pitch will be at the knees for a strike.
The amazing thing about Chris Tillman is you just don't steal them. They've only attempted, as you mentioned, 17th start of the year. They've attempted 1 stolen base and were caught stealing. And for a guy that's 6'5", I mean, historically, okay, it takes a little bit longer, but he really does a nice job of loading and then quickly getting the catcher the ball.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Runner not going. Pitch, breaking ball, will miss. And the count goes to 2-1 on Zobrist.
But you would think it'd be worth the gamble. As you mentioned, they know that Hundley doesn't throw as well as Joseph, doesn't throw as well as Matt Wieters, who had Tommy John.
Hundley's gone 2 out of 14 throwing out base stealers. You do have the middle of the order here: Zobrist and Longoria and Loney. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Long hold, runner not going, pitch taken, not going to run right now. Goes to 3-1.
Man, that's what speed does. You rush your delivery a little bit. You're trying to make your pitches, but you can't linger. Got to get the ball out of your glove a little bit. You got to worry about the runner. Changes your rhythm, and that's what speed does.
3 ball, 1 strike count. And a towering pop-up that's going to go towards the seats. And out of play. So back to get the count full is Tillman. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Ben Zobrist. Zobrist with a 6 for 34 lifetime off Tillman, and 3 of the 6 hits he's had have been home runs.
Yeah, after that swing, you're getting okay, pretty quick. I had to throw a strike. Really haven't had command of my curveball. The changeup's not as good as it was up in New York last Sunday. What do I do here? And that's what you're thinking about if you're pitching. And you know he'll be running here.
Here's the 3-2 on the way. Runner goes. Ball in the air to center field. Jones going back. Jones near the warning track. Will make the catch. Runner's got a re-tag. Head to first. Throw comes into first, but not in time. So Zobrist, another long fly ball out, and there are 2 down. O's outfielder Delman Young will be at the official Orioles team store in the York Galleria Wednesday, July 2 from noon till 1. He'll be signing autographs, meeting with fans. Don't miss your chance to stop by and say hello. Wednesday, July 2nd, noon to 1. The official Orioles team store, the York Galleria. For a schedule of Orioles community appearances, go to OriolesReach.com. Delman, who's been so good for the O's, coming off the bench, DHing, pinch hitting. Here's Longoria. There are 2 down. Longoria will take it. That is in for a strike. He's picked up a base hit, 1 for 2. Carries the .407 average with 5 lifetime home runs off Tillman.
Yeah, high ball pitcher, high ball hitter. Well, just good hitter, but likes the ball out of the zone. That's the one he can drive. And that's why when he singled the last time up on a high fastball, you're going, okay, that's the bad news, but the worst news could have been he could hit a home run, because he can get on it.
Orioles will move the infield around. There is nobody to field a ground ball between first and second. Davis will come off the bag, but big hole. Tillman, a long look, and the 0-1 delivery, and that'll be on the outside corner.
Yeah, a little slider, maybe the first of the night. Doesn't throw many of them. Like a little cutter, hold it off center, and just give them something else to look at.
White Sox are beating Toronto tonight 5-2 in the 7th. R.A. Dickey, though, in that ball game has reached 1,000 career strikeouts. He's got 9 Ks in the game, but Toronto's trailing 5-2. 0-2 count. Longoria. Runner off first. Not moving, and that'll be in the dirt. Nice pick by Hundley. And Tillman with a 1-ball 2-strike count. Still pretty efficient with the 83 pitches thrown, especially compared to Odorizzi. Bullpen ready to take over for Tampa Bay. 1-ball 2-strike count. Again. Odorizzi would love to have a run here. It would be to his benefit. Chance to give him a shot at being the winning pitcher. Longoria waiting again on the 1-2. Tillman's delivery to him. That's in the dirt. Another stop by Hundley. Kiermaier not going anywhere at first base. Tillman's thrown over a couple of times to keep him there. They don't want to take the bat out of Longoria's hand, obviously.
Yeah, that's a good point. I thought they would have run just to test him, even though he's, as we mentioned, only 1 attempt unsuccessful.
2-ball 2-strike count. Tillman's delivers. That ball's going to go to the gap. Runner going on contact. Jones needs to cut it off and does. Throw will come into second. They hold the runner at third. So Longoria gets the base hit. He's picked up 2 in the ball game, 2 for 3. And the corners are covered here in the 6th inning with 2 down.
Yeah, it just goes down. I mean, it's a pretty, you can see from that angle, something that ended up in the middle of the plate and spanks it into left center.
Believe it or not, this is going to be the first chance Tampa Bay's had with a runner in scoring position in this game. Home run by Loney came in the 2nd inning, and then they had a single by Longoria in the 4th. Otherwise, they haven't had anybody to second base until now.
Yeah, with 2 good at bats, the home run on a changeup and then a fastball that he hit a screamer, but Manny Machado dug it out over third base. And you could see from that number 307 runners in scoring position. Once again doing what he did last year. Tough out with runners in scoring position because uses the whole field so well.
2 down, 1st and 3rd. And that ball driven in the air to center field. Jones has it lined up. Adams back. He's got it. No runs on 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. Our Honda do-ups. brought to you by Miller Lite. Now, this is the play where it was challenged and the ruling overturned on the field, and this is the replay used in New York to decide that the call on the field of out was wrong and that he was safe. That's the replay they used.
Which I can't even see the ball going in the glove, so how could you change it if you've already been called out? But they did. So, but it's kind of a moot point, even though Chris Tillman certainly had to work to extricate himself out of the inning after the hit by Longoria.
I appreciate the fact they tell us that. It's nice to know which one of the replays they actually use and get a chance to look at it. 1-1 ball game.
So we can second guess them.
So you can nail them.
Yeah, there you go. So there's Odorizzi. He just, he was kind of on the edge. We talked about walking the tightrope, but he made some great pitches that really battled him. Had a chance if they score a run in that inning to at least have the lead going into the 6th inning. So puts himself quite well. Oviedo comes in. Juan Carlos, and he's got all kinds of pitches. He's pitched well for him. Righties, lefties, not a whole lot of difference. A couple of home runs, low batting average. So they got to feel comfortable as the Orioles only scoring 1 run in the first 5 innings off of Jake Odorizzi.
And the pitch will be taken inside for a ball as we go to the bottom half, and Hundley up here in the 6th of the Orioles. Oviedo's had the kind of home road problems that we've talked about for the team. That ball hit deep to left field. It is way back, and it is a home run. Goodbye, and the Orioles have a 2-1 lead right at the fair pole in left field. Hundley has both of the Oriole RBIs in the ball game, and the Orioles lead it 2-1.
So now 3 home runs in his last 6 appearances for Juan Carlos. Hundley says thank you. Get Odorizzi out of there.
That is going to be the first home run for Hundley, who picks it up here in the 6th inning, and the Orioles get the lead.
A towering drive.
Right down the line in left. And a bunt look there. Flaherty.
Yeah, Gabe Morales, the third base umpire. I mean, his ball belted. Just a matter of whether it will stay fair and hit high. But you could see this side of the pole.
And Joseph Palazzi gets another $500. Our Maryland lottery contestant of the game. Swing and a miss by Flaherty is 0 for 2. He has struck out, flied out. So Oviedo on the first batter faced gives up the go-ahead home run, and Hundley tagged that one.
And you saw the good changeup, what he has, and bottom drops out.
The Orioles get 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Oviedo, that one is drilled. Will it stay fair? Oh, just missed as Flaherty got one to drive.
And they tried to slip a fastball by him.
Oviedo going to go back and rethink this. Finally getting one out, and Flaherty coming really close to getting one out. 98 on the ball. He hit to left. Ryan Flaherty's got that power, especially on the fastballs. He can turn on them. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that's outside.
Yeah, he said, I think I'll go back to the changeup. Tommy John last year, so didn't pitch at all. Marlins 26 saves, 09, 30, 010, 11, 36.
1-2 delivery on the way, and Flaherty will be tagged out on a pitch he missed that was in the dirt. And one down. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50, supporting Be More for Healthy Babies. 201 walks, $10,050. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. One away, top of the order, Nick Markakis. 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Orioles continue here in June to pound them out. Manny Machado had the home run losing effort in game number 1. 37 home runs have now been hit by the Orioles this month. And Markakis will stay off it. It is in there for a strike.
Yeah, Odorizzi faced of the 9 hitters in the lineup, struck out 6 different ones. Jonesy with 3 hits off him, and Davis and Hardy without strikeouts. Everybody else at some point.
In the air to center. Kiermaier back, and he's got it. Ball more of a line drive than a fly ball, hit hard to dead center field. So Nick out of there 0 for 3. Our AT&T fan photo as promised earlier in the game. And a couple of folks dressed for summer and the ballpark.
Well, tonight they would have had a floppy hat on. It's a nice looking hat. Not garish orange, but it's floppy.
There you go. Great for summer.
Turn it around, you get an Oriole bird.
Here's Manny Machado. Machado 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Oviedo, his delivery to him, and that's going to be a strike. Well, the Orioles get the first lead of the ball game. Stayed tied up after the second inning until here in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1 delivery, and that is going to miss in a 1-ball 1-strike count. Oviedo, a couple of home runs hit off him coming into the game, 1 from each side of the plate, now added to by Hundley. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and Machado pops it back, and no play. So Hundley getting a chance to contribute, and does, maybe a game winner. As tough as the runs have been to come by for both teams here. 2-1 lead in the 6th. Maybe it'll hold up.
Yeah, well, you got to, as you said, they still have a pretty well-rested bullpen for both clubs.
Yep.
You know, you use your Gausman, your 26th guy. You bring him up even though he may be in the regular rotation. Alex Colomé gets his win, but so again, they were able to sequence their way as he goes 5 2/3, I believe, in the first game. So we got to play 2. You didn't blow out. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't one of those 11-9 games where everybody had to pitch.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and will miss outside. Orioles will make a roster change tomorrow. Kevin Gausman will be sent back down. Continuing, he's got to spend 10 days in the minors before the Orioles can recall him. Orioles have said, Buck Showalter said he will be back for the next start that he would make in the dirt. Amazing thing Buck thought was the fact that Kevin Gausman on the right got credit for part of the 10 days that needs to be served when you're sent down. When he came up here and pitched today, you still get credit for the day.
Well, he was out. We get credit for that, but I think also doesn't it, because he's a 26 man, it doesn't interrupt the 10 days he was in the minor?
No, it doesn't. You're right. 3-2 delivery, and that's outside.
So they'll now, if he pitches on a regular turn, and he could just come back and pitch 5 days from tonight.
So Machado draws the walk. Odorizzi surrendered 4. Oviedo surrenders 1, and that'll get Adam Jones to the plate with a 3-for-3 ball game.
Well, there you go. Double, single, and single. Average hit speeds of 77. So above it, below it, and above it.
This is Adam has had 29 multi-hit games now. This is the 5th 3-hit ball game. He's had 2 4-hit games on the year, and has pushed the average back up to 300. 2 down, runner on at first base. Orioles 2 runs, 7 hits. Jones will follow back.
Well, what did he say the other day? I bring something to the ballpark every day. I'm not talking about his car either, no. But attitude or whatever, fortitude, because after going 0 for 4 in the first game, so
He's closing in on 100 hits on the year now, Adam, with 98. He moves ahead of Markakis.
Yeah, good chance that he might get a couple more at bats, so maybe even do it tonight.
Altuve and Cabrera in the American League, the two hitters with 100 plus. With a runner at first, 2 down.
Yeah, Manny 2 for 2 this year. Doesn't run a whole lot. Stolen bases. Oviedo just making sure.
Oviedo the look over. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Jones will foul that one off the other way. So Adam behind on the count here, 2 strikes. It'll bring Manny Machado back to the bag. Big crowd on hand for the second game of the day. Oviedo 0-2, trying to get out of the inning without further damage after the Orioles take the lead on the home run by Hundley leading off the inning. Pretty good lead. Runner goes 0-2, fouled away. Machado had a real good jump over there at first base.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a. It's almost like I got a text from Dennis Martinez, who was listening to us today, former Oriole pitcher, but he's got one of, like either you break over your knees or just inside of it, so the leg kick just high enough to maybe give you a chance. Even though Hannigan throws pretty well to steal a base. And just remember, eventually, when you send a runner, somebody has to cover. So everybody trying to hold their positions and to the last moment, but a lot of times you can open up a hole.
Oviedo and Jones doing battle here with that 0-2 count. Oviedo, 32-year-old, out of the Dominican Republic, veteran pitcher. Best years in Florida. Pitched with Kansas City in the American League, and then had 3 solid years with a lot of work, 2009, 10, and 11. Pitched in the minors 2012 when he had the injury just a bit, and then to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they signed him, let him rehab all of last year, didn't pick up his option, re-signed him, and made the ball club in spring training. He actually started some games back in Kansas City. A lot. 13 appearances 1 year, 6 starts.
And got him picked off at first base. Wayne Kirby arguing, and Buck Showalter is on his way out to first base as Manny Machado, at least for the moment, is picked off.
Yeah, he's smiling, so he probably thinks he's safe. And it's like suspended animation because nobody leaves the field. Safe.
And Buck Showalter will talk at first with Jim Wolf while he looks in to see if the video replay official thinks he should challenge. Orioles already have 1-1.
Take a look. There's a hand in. Yeah, hand's in. Maybe.
Yeah. So they'll go to New York.
Yeah, I guess the question is, with the dark sleeve and the dark glove, was the dark glove on the arm? Now, if you can prove it wasn't, then you can change it, right? Otherwise, the call stands, supposedly.
We present our argument to the jury, and the jury's left, and the jury's in New York, and I haven't got a clue. You never know what juries are going to do. Looks like he's on the bag ahead of the tag, but I don't know. They called him out, and you're supposed to have that clear and convincing evidence. A call on the field was wrong. I mean, is that clear and convincing?
It's kind of isn't it interesting? Manny thought he was safe. Loney thought he was out. Umpire thought he was out, and Lynn Kirby, the third base coach, he thought he was safe. So it's kind of
tie.
Even tie, and now we'll go to New York. See, so the point is dark shirt, dark glove. Oh, now I like this right here. Yeah, piece.
Now, does the little piece of leather hanging off the glove count as part of the glove for tag? Because the little piece of leather hanging off touched his jersey.
Let's go measure the little piece. Yeah.
Just see it right there, hanging down. It was on the jersey before he got back to the bag. It's the leather that ties the glove together at the top. You can see it dangling down. I have no idea whether that counts as part of the glove or not. Fans are seeing the replay, reacting. Very, very close.
And really good throw from Oviedo.
He is out. So Manny Machado gets picked off at first base as the call on the field will stand. But this is where I wish we could talk to the umpire and know whether or not that little piece of rawhide hanging down made the difference. Orioles lead it 2-1. Jim Palmer, we shouldn't identify ourselves. It is Floppy Hat Night. And in honor of Art Carney, I wear my hat turned up as he wore the great pie hat on the Jackie Gleason show.
Away we go! Yeah. That's what the Orioles said when Hundley hit the home run.
Away we go.
Offense, come on.
Floppy Hat Night always draws, and we'll see the hats now for the rest of the summer, which is the great part.
Cooperstown, my head, I can't wear the headset and wear this. So
no, it's very hard to do that.
But I like the look. I like your
derby
like the
pie look. That's that pie hat look that
when you go fishing
used to have.
Flies and all that. Yeah. Put that back there and whatever.
Okay, see you later.
It's a nice, it's nice.
They have nothing to add to the picture, and the picture added nothing. And the pitch will be taken up high. We go to the seventh inning. Brandon Guyer. One-run ball game. Why does it look better on them than it did on us? I don't know.
High definition.
That's right, high definition. And that one will be up high. Chris Tillman has gone the distance for the Orioles in this game. I guess if we'd had the sunglasses, it probably would have looked better. Guyer has popped out and grounded out. Takes that one in the air to center towards the gap. Jones racing, and he'll get there.
They're exceptional jumps. I mean, not a horribly difficult play to make. Not when you won a couple of Gold Gloves, but ball hit well. One-run ball game. Lead off man with speed now out. After you got behind him, and a good fastball hitter. There is the pitch count, so you can see a lot of fastballs. And then the changeup really effective, and tonight maybe not quite as good. Still trying to work the curveball in. something that took him almost 5-6 innings to do up in Yankee Stadium. But at the end of the day, he got 8 runs that game. A little different here.
Really effective performance by Chris Tillman. And the pitch taken by Joyce, who is 0 for 2. He is lined out and flied out in the ball game. The Orioles 2-7-0. The Rays 1-4-0. We play in the 7th.
He just sits up there, and he's going to look for a fastball inside half the plate, and that's where his power is. And what does he do? Curveball, and comes back with a changeup. Now that's the best changeup he's thrown all night, and that's the way you need to pitch to Matt Joyce. Stay out of the middle of the plate. He turned it over a little bit, so it ran away from him.
Chris has had 1 complete game this season, and that was his first career shutout against Kansas City 4-0. 5 hits over 9. That ball lifted in the air, center again. Jones the break, and he's right there.
Yeah, just enough away where you can pitch to center field. And Joyce going, and Brian, I thought I hit that a little bit better. Jonesy right there. So 2 complete games, and this is his 101st major league start. It tells you that you don't have to complete games anymore.
You don't complete games, do you?
Nope.
Every Orioles game all year long. MLB.com at bat. Favorite mobile phone or tablet brings you baseball wherever you are. Look-ins. You get audio. Free MLB TV game of the day. Download MLB.com at bat, the App Store. Go to Orioles.com.
Just think about it. There's been 3 no-hitters, and everybody's saying after Tim Lincecum pitched his second, both of them against the Padres, how difficult it is to pitch 2 no-hitters. It's just hard to pitch a no-hitter because you have to pitch 9 innings. And how often do you do that?
Nope. I'm afraid that's just a thing of the past. It'll be an oddity now when you get complete games by pitchers. Ball is hit in the air again hard. Markakis will get back on this one. Cruz, rather, and the outfielders have done a lot of running in this ball game. A 1-2-3 inning, 7th inning stretch time here at Camden Yards. Orioles up by 1.
A change-up to Loney. 0-0 ball game. Well, 1-0. As the Rays take an early lead, and Odorizzi really pitching high up the zone. Hardy on the single by Hundley, and then they bring in Oviedo, and Hundley takes him deep to put the Orioles ahead 2-1. Odorizzi leaves a little bit wild, but really got some big outs. Chris Tillman still with the pitch count really low at 94 out there. 4 hits, only the home run by Maloney. He leads at 2-1. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And here comes Joel Peralta, who struggled early on. 18 of his last 19 appearances have been scoreless, and this will be the 36th game. And ERA's come down from over 7 runs a game to right about 3.5 runs a game. And here, I know you're going to like this. Averages 34.1 seconds between pitches, and according to Fangraphs, that makes him the slowest worker in the game.
Broadcaster's kind of guy right here. So just put the clock on him.
Geez, 34.1 seconds.
It's supposed to be 20 seconds.
He's pretty good too.
Yeah,
it used to be I used to actually call balls, and I mean, if you went over what, 17, 18 seconds, something like that.
You get 20. Supposed to get 20,
yeah.
but nobody calls.
34.1.
That's a slow.
And Joel's good.
Slow
I mean, he's
worker.
good. What could he be thinking about?
He's 0-1 against the Orioles this year. This is the 5th game he's appeared against the O's. 2 runs, 4 hits in 3 innings. 5 strikeouts and a walk against the Orioles on the season.
And the good news is he's got 3 one-year options, 15, 16, and 17.
Perhaps someone in the National League would want to pick him up.
He's done a nice job for him.
Yes, he has.
Out of the Dominican Republic. Good splitter. Loves his fastball right there.
Adam Jones gets to go to right, and a dive and missed by Joyce. Jones on his way to second base, and he'll go in with a double and a 4 for 4 games.
Well, there you go. Manny gets picked off, and they bring in a new pitcher, and Adam shoots one down to right field. It's the way you hit. This is how you hit 300. Talked about it. Use the whole field. Fastball away. You don't try to pull it. You don't overswing. Peralta, not an overpowering pitcher, and there's the Joyce dive. And then because he's played here before, knows that if he doesn't catch it, he can get to it quickly. But what you like, and we've seen it ever since, maybe especially since Showalter has come along, he runs everything out. He was thinking triple until Joyce pounced on it.
That's a career high equaled by Adam. 4 hits in a ball game 3 times this year, 13 in his career. And most importantly, sets up an opportunity for the Orioles. With a runner on at second base, leadoff man on. Cruz is 0 for 3.
Let's see if he shoots one to right field here. Still got to play the game the right way. You're really struggling for runs. Yeah, it'd be nice if he could hit a home run. It'd also be nice if he got him over. Chris Davis on deck.
Orioles 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They have stranded 9. Delivery on the way by Peralta, and that'll miss. Keep in mind, Jones was at bat when the 6th inning when Manny Machado got picked off, so he came back up, continued his at bat. Hard to believe, isn't it? 0 for 1 for the Rays, 1 for 9 for the Orioles, and we're in a 2-1 ball game. The O's on top. Cruz looking for his first hit of the day. He's 0 for 7. He'll foul that one back 2-1.
And he did take a shot to right field. Waited well on it. What did he say? It's kind of like a draft. When you're hot, you're way up there, and body feels good, and then sometimes you get the same pitches, and maybe you're just not feeling the same. That's why you could help him out. Shoot one into right field here.
He's had 1 hit and 7 at bats off Peralta. Nelson with the 2-ball, 1-strike count. Big hole between first and second as they hold the runner. Goes the other way again. Hit it deep. Back near the wall. Looking up. And goodbye. Home run. Why move him around when you can move him all the way in? Cruz delivers the long ball, and the Orioles have a 4-1 lead.
Well, the approach is to hit it to right field. And now we saw the grand slam off the White Sox. The Orioles hadn't scored on Wednesday until the 8th inning when he hit a home run to right center field. Home run number 24. 4 RBIs. 2 here. So fastball up and away. And if you're Peralta, you'd give him a shot to right, but I don't think he anticipated the home run.
So Nelson Cruz goes the other way with it.
And this is up and away. What was that number early? Hitting 391 or 431 on fastballs. Well, that was another fastball.
Takes over the home run lead again over Encarnacion now with that long ball. And a souvenir gathered by the folks up there standing in that flag patio right into the crowd.
Yeah, 9th home run here at Camden Yards, 16 on the road.
66 RBIs, so he's back on top in both homers and RBIs in a 2-homer game to the Orioles. And for Joseph Palazzi, a good night to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game. Another $500 on the Cruz homer. So the Orioles striking here in the late innings again. The homer in the 6th inning by Hundley. 2-run homer here in the 7th by Cruz. Now Davis up, bases empty, nobody on, a couple of walks, and he is flied out. Peralta's delivery to him, and that pitch is going to be away. 4 runs, 9 hits in the ball game for the Orioles.
Well, you know, it's got to be frustrating for Joel. As we told you, 18 out of the last 19 scoreless. And the Orioles jump all over him tonight. Double home run.
Davis 4 for 12 off him with a home run. 1-2 delivery in the way, and Davis will pop it up where there is nobody. Longoria will run the country mile to get there. Does, and makes the play.
Yeah, Longoria in college was a shortstop. He got good range. Gold Glover. Did have to run a long way.
Ramos in the bullpen. Oviedo worked an inning and one's across. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 1 run. He gave up the home run to Hundley. And Peralta giving way. And Odorizzi's great start starting to go by the wayside.
Yeah, well, he's not a happy camper. That's not what he intended. Right into the heart of the lineup, and they make him pay.
Here is J.J. Hardy. Hardy with a single, 1 for 3 and a run scored, and the breaking ball is going to miss inside. Hardy's had a 2 for 9 off Peralta. Peralta with a lot of innings worked lifetime against the Orioles. 1-0 pitch. That one high in the air. Center field charging. Kiermaier comes over and puts it away. 2 down. Cruz, a happy right fielder, as he delivers the long ball for the Orioles. Continues his unbelievable first half, regaining the home run lead, 1 ahead of Encarnacion, and the RBI lead, depending on what Encarnacion does tonight in their game, and Cabrera with the Tigers. They were all tied at 64 in RBIs in the league, starting the day tied for first. David Lowe, 2 down and nobody on, bunting for a base hit, charging Longoria, and he missed it. Had a bare-handed, couldn't do it.
I would imagine it's a base hit. Certainly not a routine major league play. Sprinting dead on the dead run. He's frustrated he didn't make the play because he has won the Gold Gloves. Heads up play. Well, you got a bare-handed, you got to hurry, and he's unable to do that.
So the inning will keep going, and it'll bring Hundley to the plate. He's got the go-ahead RBI in this ball game, the game winner right now with the home run he picked up in the 6th inning. As the Orioles catcher produced, now gets another chance at 2 down and a runner on at first base.
And we'll see how long David Lowe stays over there.
Hundley will take the slider for a strike.
It's 7 out of 21. Ryan Hannigan when they try to steal. Good numbers.
Good lead at first by David Lowe, not going, and Hundley will take it the other way near the stands. Joyce sliding in foul territory but can't get it.
So Longoria on the Davis pop-up had to go a long way, and Joyce makes the run and can't quite come up with it. Good effort though.
To keep the at-bat alive for Hundley. Hundley's got 2 home runs on the year. The one in this game is the first one with the Orioles. He had 1 coming over from the National League. 0-2 count with 2 down. 2 runs in, bottom of the 7th. Joel Peralta will throw over.
Yeah, he was expendable, I guess, what, think his name is Yasmani Grandal. He's struggling. In fact, I was looking at all the injuries. San Diego, Josh Burns, their general manager, was let go. Guys either hurt or underproducing. So Hundley expendable, and the Orioles happy to have him. Whether Weeder's injured.
Still the 2-strike count. Runner not going, and foul back again. Home run, first one for the Orioles, last time up.
Yeah, 1-1 ball game. Oviedo comes in, and this is how he gets greeted. Towering shot to left field, just inside the pole.
That made Oviedo, the pitcher, a record in the ball game to this point for the Rays. Oh, 2 down. Lowe's not taken off on any of these pitchers to Nick Hundley. Nor does he go here. And the pitch will be inside, 1-2.
Well, they've attempted, and again, he is a reliever, two stolen bases against Joel Peralta. I mean, he's very quick to the plate. Hardly any leg kick at all. More or less a slide step. And then you got a good throwing catcher behind the plate.
One-two delivery, and misses outside with it. Yankees putting a hurt on Boston tonight, 6-0. They've made it to the 9th inning of their ball game, so the Red Sox on the verge of losing another. And more importantly for the Orioles, the Yankees, who have 40 wins, looking for their 41st. Orioles are after their 42nd in this one.
And Nuno, who has never won at Yankee Stadium, was the guy that started. I thought it was Tanaka when I saw the scoreboard and the 5-0, 6-0 lead, but it's actually Vidal Nuno, who had never won in 8 starts. Orioles roughed him up on their way to 4 home runs last Saturday.
Hundley really battling here. 2-ball, 2-strike count, and that's just going to miss outside. So he works the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lowe will be running. They'll move Loney behind the runner at first base. Hundley had to earn this one. He fell behind early in the count, fouled off some pitches, took some close pitches, and really has made an at-bat out of it. 3-2, 2 down. Run in on the 2-run homer by Cruz in the inning. There goes the runner. Another long fly ball way up in the air. Brandon Guyer in left field is there, and he's got it for the out. But the Orioles add 2 more. Cruz continues his tremendous first half. This home run coming after Jones had delivered a double, and the Orioles now have a 4-1 lead to the delight of O's fans. Unrecorded telecast is presented by authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles trying to split this day-night doubleheader. Cruz giving him a big chance with that two-run homer in the 7th inning to extend the lead, and now 4-1. Tillman's going to stay on. He's gone the distance. Only 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Has been very efficient. Retired the side in order in the 7th inning. Has had 3 innings in the ball game. Yeah, so looking for his first home win against 4 losses.
Yeah, so they we talk about 1 run a game. That's what it was at home. So they quadrupled that tonight. And they do have, I think, somebody throwing in the bullpen just in case, as you saw the pitching count at 94.
Logan Forsythe will lead it off. Their second baseman has an 0 for 2. He's grounded out, flied out. Tillman has given up only 4 hits. The home run by Loney came in the 2nd inning. Otherwise, he's shut it down with 3 other singles. 1-0 delivery will be up high, and he's just now approaching the 100 pitch mark. Darren O'Day in the bullpen.
Yeah, the focus has to be that you have to be aggressive, and didn't want to go 2-0. Forsythe line nice at bat the last time. Well, again, you got to come back. You got a 3-run cushion. Going to make him put the ball in play or make him swing, and he did.
Forsythe, Jennings at the top of the order to follow. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Tillman looking to go 7-4 if he can get the win. Oviedo right now the pitcher of record onto the bullpen for the Rays. And the 2-1 delivery, that'll be hacked the other way, foul. Orioles with a 21-14 record against teams in the division. That counts the loss in this afternoon's game. Nick Showalter's ball club battling here in the nightcap. That's going to go to center. Jones, a busy night. Forsythe flies out.
Yeah, a couple of line drives could ride it at him. Adam Jones in center. Not a bad guy to let him hit it to.
He's had 6 putouts in the outfield now in the last 4 innings.
Where were we? 9.
That was Pierce, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Playing left field.
Yankee Stadium. Yeah.
Yep. Here's Desmond Jennings, the leadoff batter. A couple of strikeouts, and he is flying out. He really struggles against Tillman with a 2 for 19 in his career now. And the pitch will miss for a ball. Yankees have finished up with their shutout. They have beaten the Red Sox 6-0 in their ball game. That's going to go to short, right at Hardy.
Yeah, nothing like to have a 3-run lead and in command of your windup, and that's what Chris Tillman's been able to do. Only the changeup that hung a little bit to Loney for the run. That was a home run, and that was all the way back in the 2nd inning. And when he's gotten in trouble, he got Loney out in the 6th with a couple of guys on. But certainly not a lot of jams tonight.
Nope. Kiermaier will stand in. He's had a single, 1 for 3 in this ball game, 2 for 8 in the series. And that pitch swung on and missed. Nuno got the win. He's 2-4. He went 5 2/3, no runs, 2 hits. And then the bullpen came on.
And that sets up Lester and Tanaka tomorrow. That'll be a nice little pitching matchup.
Ground ball down to first, foul. Workman, the loser for Boston, 1-1. 4 runs, 7 hits over 7 innings. So the Red Sox continue to struggle, and the Yankees somehow continue to play solid baseball. So they are 41-37. The Orioles right now have the exact same record. A victory for the Orioles in this game, and they'll have a half-game edge over the Yankees for 2nd place in the American League. Jammed him. Tillman got him. Solid 1-2-3 inning. That's 7 in a row retired by Chris Tillman, and the fans appreciating his effort as he leads the field. Orioles on top 4-1. Jiffy Lube signature service oil change. This one will be quick. At Jiffy Lube, they get you in and out fast, and you never need an appointment.
So Ramos comes on. You can see 24th appearance. Less hits than innings pitched. A lot of strikeouts, maybe a few more walks than you would like. Good numbers against lefties and righties.
Cesar Ramos has worked both as a starter and a reliever this season for the Rays. Ramos has had 7 starts. This will be his 24th appearance of the season.
Yeah, it's a very special time. I was reading an article. Actually, his wife Melody is expecting, and somebody said it was going to be, I don't know if it was going to be induced. I don't think it happened, but that was supposed to be yesterday. But she had Hodgkin's lymphoma, so she had to go through chemotherapy and all that. So apparently she's recovered. They didn't expect to be able to have a child, or if they did, maybe a couple of years. So certainly his thoughts are elsewhere tonight, along with helping his team right here. But best of luck to him, and congratulations on the pregnancy. What a story.
Jonathan Schoop is going to be the pinch hitter for Flaherty. Flaherty an 0 for 3. Scope's first at bat for the left-hander. Ramos on the mound. The Orioles have the 4-1 lead. Bottom of the 8th inning. Pitch will be up high for a ball. Schoop got the start in game 1. Ended up with an 0 for 3. Orioles on top here. 4 runs on 10 hits. Tillman with a great performance. It is a safe situation at the moment. 1-0 delivery on the way, and a strike on the inside corner to Jonathan Schoop.
So for Chris Tillman, he's now given up 1 run in his last 15 innings. He's trending back to where he was last year when he won 16 games for the Orioles.
1 ball, 1 strike count. And Schoop fouls it back. Jonathan, a 194 average off lefties, 231 off right-handers. Orioles looking to put away this night ball game. In honor of Wild Bill the Bird on the dugout. Markakis will follow, and then Manny Machado due up. 1-2 delivery on the way, and Schoop off the fist, third base. Longoria. 1 down in the 8th inning. Nick Showalter just hoping this one stays right where it is. Nick Markakis coming up, 0 for 3, a walk. He's 1 for 6 in the doubleheader. The White Sox are still beating Toronto 5-3. They're in the bottom of the 9th inning in Toronto, so the Orioles with a chance to gain ground on the league leading Jays as well if they hang on here. And the off-speed delivery, breaking ball, is a strike to him. For Nick against left-handers, real good number, 304. Hasn't mattered much. 293 off right-handers coming into today's play. Oh, 1 delivery on the way. Markakis, another breaking ball. It's going to be outside.
Yeah, Nick's strength in the strike zone is away. Breaking balls and anything you throw them away. So most lefties more comfortable pitching left-handers out over the plate. Some can ride the ball up and in. We saw McGee do that, but he's pretty special at 96, 97 miles per hour. So they kind of throw the ball where Nick likes it, which is out over the plate.
1-1 delivery on the way to him, and popped it up to short. Zobrist. 2 down. Peralta working an inning, gave up 2 runs, 3 hits. The home run by Cruz. Oviedo an inning, gave up a run and a hit. The home run picked up by Hundley. And the starter, Odorizzi, had the solid 5 innings, just 1 run, 6 hits. But he's non-decision. Tillman, the only one used by the Orioles here in game 2 of the doubleheader. And looks like he's coming out as he's being congratulated by teammates. Zach Britton, unless the Orioles score another run, will have the save opportunity. Manny Machado 2 down, nobody on, and the pitch is there for a strike. Manny's drawn a couple of walks in his last 2 at bats, 0 for 2 officially in the ball game. He had a 2 for 3 in the opener.
Yeah, you love to have him go on and then get Adam Jones up to see if he can get 5 hits tonight.
Never done that in his career. Here's the 0-1 by the lefty, and that's going to go to first on the line. Loney's got it, and that's the out. So a 1-2-3 inning picked up by Ramos. Now Tillman will watch. Britton comes on. Orioles 4-1, need 3 more outs. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Coons. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer back with you at Camden Yards, wrapping up double dip here today for Chris Tillman.
Yeah, trying to win for the first time here at Camden Yards, even though he pitched well. It starts off Jennings with a changeup. There's a strikeout, big curveball. Jennings down again on strike. Good defense. I mean, close game, 1-1 going into the 6th inning. Hundley hits the home run right here. Nice little fielding by the pitcher. Well, again, he will leave with a chance to win his 7th. Those are your Jeep inside the numbers. 8 innings, 4 hits. I like those lines. Only 1 walk, couple of strikeouts, pitch count well within reason, and in comes Zach Britton. 9 out of 11 when it comes to saving games.
And he's in a save situation here as he starts the Mount Zobrist with a strike.
That pitch last Friday, that was the blown save, and to that point he had given up 3 runs in 37 innings and walk-off home run by Beltran up in New York. So let's hope this Friday a little bit better. They'll certainly need to win this game. And you're right into the heart of their lineup. Zobrist, Longo, and Longoria, and then Loney.
3 outs away from a W and a split of the day-night doubleheader. Tillman would go 7-4. Oviedo would be 3-3 if the Orioles can get it. Foul back. Zobrist with an 0 for 3 in the game, 1 for 6 overall. Scope stays in the game at second base.
Yeah, so it's all about getting 3 more outs. And you've been with us really over the course of the season, mostly sinkers. And mostly balls that are put in play on the ground. That's how good the sinker's been.
Fouled off. Zobrist has got a 3 for 11 in his career off Zach Britton. What a job by Tillman. I mean, just a great performance tonight for Chris Tillman here at home.
Yeah, they don't score a lot of runs on the road, but they did put up 5 in the first game, which was a little bit un-Ray-like as they came in averaging 3 runs a game, but had some really good at-bats.
Right at the plate, and that got a piece of Hundley. Tillman gave up only a run in each of the first 2 starts of the year against Boston and Detroit. And then in the game against Boston on June 10, he gave up another just 1-run ball game in 6 innings. Now he's against New York in his last outing, no runs, 4 hits over 7, and in this ball game only 1 run on 4 hits over 8.
Yeah, he's as you mentioned, 17th start. He's had 4 bad games. That skews all the numbers. Anytime you give up 7, 8, 6, 5 runs in 4 starts, you're not pitching up to your capabilities. But he's made some improvements and showed tonight.
1-2 delivery. And that one is going to miss.
Yeah, the one thing about Ben Zobrist not having a typical year, but his plate discipline, usually he can work deep into the count. He's looking for a walk if Zach Britton doesn't want to throw strikes.
2-2 delivery on the way. He did, and he got him.
Oh, 96. And then you figure, okay, the ball's going to sink, and it doesn't. I mean, it's almost like it cut in and still goes down. He thinks it's going to come back, maybe run to the middle of the plate, and it just doesn't. But the ability to sink the ball, pitch down in the zone at 96, not too many guys can do that.
Here's Evan Longoria, 2 singles and a fly ball out. Zach Britton is appearing in his 6th game against Tampa Bay this year. He's got 2 saves against them. He has worked previously 7 innings, giving him no runs on just 2 hits with a couple of walks and 6 strikeouts. Now 7 against him. 1-0 delivery. Longoria does that same pitch, and he can't get to it. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Longoria in the doubleheader, a couple of hits in 6 at-bats. 2 for 13 off Zach Britton. 1-1 delivery by the lefty will go towards the hole, and it's a base hit. So a 3-hit ball game for Longoria, all singles. This one with 1 away in the 9th inning.
Another guy on, and they'll be very happy. That's where you start if you're down by 3. Get a couple of guys on, put some pressure. Zach Britton certainly capable with the grand ball ability to throw a double play ball. And that's what he's looking for.
Loney, the home run in the 2nd inning, is 4th of the year. 1 for 3. Loney has not had a hit off Zach Britton in 6 at bats against him. Orioles squeeze the middle on the left-handed hitter with 1 away. Longoria held it first. Pitch will be down low for a ball.
He doesn't strike out much about James Loney, and he's a slasher. Coming into the games today, 39 strikeouts and close to 290 at bats. A contact hitter.
And that pitch will be in the outside corner to him for a strike. 1-1, 1 down. First game this afternoon, won by Tampa Bay 5-2. Orioles had only 3 hits in that game. They've had 10 in this one. 1-1. Check swing strike.
You didn't like that strike. I'm going to take a look right here, and just off the plate. The good hitters, they know. And the bad hitters, they just hope. They just hope those pitches aren't called. But he knew that was just a shade off.
1-2 delivery, comebacker. Britton trying to get the game over. There's one. Relay Hardy. It's over. Double play will end it. 1-6-3. And here in the 9th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no